talkSPORT Sports Update powered by the Nissan Van range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good afternoon. Ethan Nwaneri set to complete a loan deal to Marseille for the rest of the season, with the player agreeing to the move. David Seaman's told talkSPORT he might not be at the top of the pecking order, but he'd prefer he sticks around.
I would hate him to go anywhere else, because he's such a good player, even like seeing him coming through the academy.
The Gunners are away at Inter Milan in the Champions League tonight, live over on talkSPORT 2. Mo Salah is back at Liverpool after AFCON. He'll be assessed ahead of the Reds' trip to Marseille, which you can hear live on talkSPORT tomorrow evening. Some transfer news in brief now. Fulham are in talks with City over Oscar Bob. We're told no bid's gone in yet, though. Bournemouth have completed the signing of Hungary midfielder Alex Tote. That's from Ferencvaros for £10.5 million. There's up-to-the-minute transfer news on the live blog. That's up at talksport.com. On to the snooker, and we've had the newly crowned Masters champion Kyron Wilson on. What's it like playing at Ali Pali?
For me, the Masters at Alexandra Palace, it's a packed out crowd for every single session, right in the middle of London. And, it's a phenomenal place to play snooker.
And Adil Rashid and Rian Ahmed have now joined up with the squad in Sri Lanka ahead of the T20 World Cup. Both England spinners have Pakistani heritage and had their visas for India delayed. Meanwhile, all-rounder Sam Curran's told us why England's ODI form has dropped.
I think no one's really playing huge amounts of 50-over cricket. I guess it's a format we struggled with last year. But I think the biggest challenge now is going to be showing that consistency that's been shown in T20 and 50-over cricket. England's
white ball tour of Sri Lanka gets underway on Thursday. It's exclusively live on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Some breaking news from the world of rugby. Steve Tandy has just named his Wales squad for the Six Nations. He's included 2 uncapped players in Leicester wing Gabriel Hamer-Webb and Bath centre Louis Hennessy. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The top Republican in Congress says he wants to calm tensions with the UK over Donald Trump's threats to take over Greenland. And Sir David Beckham has been pictured for the first time since his son's explosive allegations about their family. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Whatever the weather, our range of services is longer than the queue at the Chippy on a Friday night. Tyres, MOTs, brakes and more. Book today at quickfit.com.
Brighter spells across central and eastern areas. Western areas will see bands of rain move in. Strong winds in the west and the southwest.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Where this afternoon, please tell us, Charlie, what's coming up?
Coming up over the next 3 hours, we'll look ahead to a big night in the Champions League and the Championship.
Yeah.
We're right across all the big transfer stories of the day, and Ian Danta tells us how darts in Saudi is proving to be a very different experience for the players. Do you have wasps?
Do you have it? It's not wasps.
Saudi.
It's just a bit of a weird atmosphere, some of the players have said. But Dancy's there working, so he'll tell us more about it. And talk a bit of Championship tonight. For obvious reasons, we're after the time your mum embarrassed you. Plus laughing in the wrong place. And how could you how you, should I say, this is a great opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Let me look down the lens. How you could end the day as Britain's foremost Thomas Tuchel lookalike. It could be quite lucrative in and around the World Cup. So if you believe you look like Thomas Tuchel, we're going to give you all the details of where to send them into. And a lookalike agency who are desperate to land a good Thomas Tuchel will be joining us later on. And we'll be running those pictures past them And who knows? This could be a turning point for it. If you look like
An
Thomas
actual
Tuchel.
offer, Paul. It's not our usual rubbish.
No, this is rubbish, but you have to look like Thomas Tuchel. So yeah.
Yes, all this plus Stuart Pearce pops into the studio with the Stranglers and Sunderland sporting Baz War.
Yeah.
There's another H&B versus ChatGPT on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And TV Burp's Harry Hale.
Yeah.
Tells us about his YouTube show and podcast.
That's right. He's joining us a little bit later on. But it is 7:01. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Charlie.
Good afternoon, Paul. I hear you're off to Spurs tonight, Paul.
I am.
That's
very
nice
much
for you, isn't it?
Very much looking.
Nice thing for you to go and do your favourite thing.
Looking forward to it. Well, it has been over the years, but not always. Sometimes it's endured rather than enjoyed, and I would imagine one of those will be tonight. Looking at the team.
Yeah.
But it's actually quite nice to see some of the kids play. When they always get unwavering support in a way that maybe some of the senior pros who are off form don't.
Yeah.
And we got 2 or 3 really good kids, and they're going to get thrown in because Dortmund are a good side. But the crowd will get behind him. In some ways, I think it might help Thomas Tuchel that 1 or 2 of the kids get a chance to play tonight.
You haven't got any players left, have you?
No,
they're all out injured.
Well, some are injured, some are not registered to play in this competition.
Oh,
So, and we've got Mickey van der Ven suspended. So it is a bit of a perfect storm.
That's useful.
Yeah. So that is the problem. So, welcome back. I mean, I'd say that this is anecdotal. I've not done any checking, but it does feel like the overhead kick is back, doesn't it?
Absolutely, definitely.
I think there was a period where players wouldn't try them because they thought it'd just be high foot. And what tends to happen is that another player, if you're going to attempt one, someone else looks to get involved and say, the foot was high, I nearly got kicked in the head, I did get kicked in the head and feigned a bit of a head injury.
Maybe it's a positive of VAR, Paul.
Maybe.
The overhead kicks.
There aren't many.
Probably about more long balls into the box.
Well, I mean, Tottenham have scored, 3 this season? I mean, I can't think of when that's happened before.
Scored one, Paul? Ever try one?
No. Over the park with my mates once. I mean, so these little things that stick with you. We used to bunk into a place called the Barra Stadium. I think the statute of limitations has gone. It was a non-league stadium where I lived in Edmonton in North London.
Yeah.
And we climb over, because it had proper goals. It was a proper
lovely,
pitch.
yeah, lovely.
And we'd go over there and we'd use the goals till the groundsman chased us off and we'd just run off and climb over the fence, But I did a kind of donkey kick goal.
Nice.
And I'll never forget it. I mean, just the look of shock on everybody's faces that had gone. It's complete fluke.
But you never forget scoring them,
I was not a scorer of many goals, I'd say.
You never get that feeling of it coming off your foot, do you?
Yeah.
In the top corner.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to have when we do PE on a Tuesday and a Thursday at school, we'd have to get on a coach to go to a place called Fortches Cross, and it had like 4 pitches.
Yeah.
And they were on like a hill. The pitches were like it's countryside, Paul.
Yeah, yeah.
The bottom pitch, where obviously all the water ran down to, you could use it about twice a year.
Because it just flooded every time.
All the time. But when you could use it, it was bouncy, because it was covered in, full of water, and it was like basically moss. You were playing football on moss. But for overhead kicks, it was unbelievable. So you just have these
jumping
games.
on a mattress.
It was. So everyone would just be overhead kick the whole game, like everyone trying to do them,
But it's good they're back. The Costellos one was great last night, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Absolute. We all love to see them.
When you see one live.
He didn't. I mean, he seemed surprised he'd scored. He was kind of it was a real delay. Has that gone in?
It went off a funny angle.
Yeah,
didn't it? But you got your Wayne Rooney shinner as the best one.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a call.
Trevor Sinclair's is the top one.
Well, as Max always says, it's the Sinclair spectrum.
Of
That's
course,
the yardstick for all overhead kicks, isn't it? For
well, I don't know if you've read the Brooklyn Beckham stuff, Paul. I mean, look, we're not the gossip pages.
I'm not taking sides.
I'm not taking sides. Everyone has trouble with their families.
I just think it's very sad, isn't it?
It's sad when you fall out with your family. You have to do it on a national, international stage.
I just think as he gets older and wiser, they'll come back together.
They'll come back together.
Let him calm down a bit.
Happens all the time, doesn't it? But I do like the sound of Victoria Beckham's dance at the wedding, though.
Apparently one of the things that's upset Brooklyn, as I'm sure you're aware by now, is that his mum sort of ruined their first dance. So we thought today we might have When Mum Embarrassed You. If you've got tales of when Mum embarrassed you, please do send them in to us, talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J.
Did you have a first dance, Paul? I'm interested in what your first dance song was.
No, not really. No, we didn't. No, we had a
first dance.
We didn't go out of our way to have a first. Maybe it wasn't such a big deal when we got married. I mean, it could have been the Charleston when we got married. But it's become a much bigger deal in subsequent years.
Especially as people really monetise weddings now. Oh,
I think so.
Beckham's wedding.
It's almost worth you getting married again, Charlie, isn't it? You and Sam. So, and Noel, the first one, like Henry VIII, and both of you can get married again.
Ours was, You're All I Need to Get By, Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell.
That's lovely.
Not a great song to dance to. When we were dancing to it, we realised...
It's a bit of a plodder.
Bit of a dirge, actually, this.
It's a bit of a plodder.
Yeah, a bit of a dirge.
Better than California Uber Alles by the Dead Kennedys, really.
Something like that.
That would sort people
Napalm
out,
Death.
Yeah, funny enough, they appear in Harry Hill's new podcast/YouTube show. They're on the show. I take it because Stuart Lee's on it and he knows the boys in the band.
Oh, really?
But anyway, they will be. We'll talk to H later on.
Yeah, very nice.
Also, so we're going to hear from you on when Mum embarrassed you. I mean, the thing that always embarrassed you as a mum was when you were at school or whatever, and she'd lick a hanky and then clean your mouth.
Oh
up.
Yeah.
I mean, at 18 as well, that was a bit much.
My dad, my mum's embarrassed me a few times, but I can't think of a specific time. But my dad once, my dad was a car dealer, and he picked me up from a school coach trip in a bright orange Skoda, and it was the period of time
when the Skoda was
the punchline. Paul.
Was not cool. Yeah.
It was the punchline, and as a Skoda Estelle, it'd be cool now.
Yeah.
You're a really cool car now.
Yeah, it would be.
I refused
Skoda.
to get in. I walked home. Paul.
Lovely cars.
I walked home. Refused to get in.
You walked home.
Yeah, refused to get in. Yeah. My
so anyway, we're going to stick with mums though.
Yeah, mum.
When mum, because that's in the news. When mum embarrassed you. Also, the darts. We're going to talk about the darts today. The atmosphere has been really weird at the darts over in Saudi.
Yeah.
And Nathan Aspinall's been talking about it, and Dance is out there working, so he's going to tell us a bit more about it. It's just very polite and quite quiet.
Sure.
And on things like when they don't hit their doubles, rather than everybody going, ooh, they laugh. They laugh if they miss the doubles.
It's like in tennis having to play on a different pitch, in a different court, isn't it?
It would be great if you're in a game and at football like that Panenka. And then everybody just laughs.
Yeah.
It's just all you hear, even from your own
booing,
fans.
nothing, just laughing.
We're interested in the time you laughed in the wrong place.
Yeah,
just let us know this afternoon. When did you laugh in the wrong place? We'd love to hear that. TalkSport. We often do that in the birthday spread with Andy, don't we?
We do.
TalkSport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J, mum embarrassing you. And honestly, if you look like Thomas Tuchel, we're going to have a chat later on with Andy Harmer, who is, funny enough and quite timely, Britain's foremost David Beckham lookalike. He was in his youth anyway. Yeah. He now runs a lookalike agency.
They've got plenty of Cole Palmers, apparently.
They got Cole Palmers. Well, having said that, the one I saw a picture of a Cole Palmer, and he looked more like the lad from the In-Betweeners.
Yeah, well, I think he's just sort of a teenage lad.
But they are desperate for a Thomas Tuchel. They can't find one anywhere. So if you know someone or believe you look a bit like Thomas Tuchel, your other half does, obviously your husband. Would be a bit weird otherwise.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But my wife looks like Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, that's
the cover of...
Maybe that's the way to
Sounds like the cover of Chat magazine. Anyway, she could do.
There'll be a few netball players look like Thomas Tuchel, I reckon.
But anyway, Charlie. So, lethal.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So anyway, do let us know. If you do, please send us India pictures. TalkSport.com/H&J. You can text them to 81089. You can tweet them to TSH&J, TSHANDJ, and send them in throughout the afternoon. Andy Harmer's coming on in the last hour of the show. He can peruse some of the Thomas Tuchel lookalikes.
He might get a new job.
I mean, the fact that Andy, who's in that business, looking to scout them, and has people out there doing that all the time, can't find one, would suggest we're probably not going to be inundated.
No, but let's see.
Even a pass, if anybody's ever said to you, you look a bit like Thomas Tuchel, let us know. TalkSport.com, text 81089, tweet.
My neighbour Jean used to look like Fabio Capello.
Really?
Yeah, she looked like...
Because he did have sort of Nan's hair, Fabio, didn't he? I hope Jean's not listening today. Poor Jean. Anyway, Perry Groves kicks us off today. We're going to look ahead to Inter Arsenal this evening and talk about Nwaneri. Looks like he's off to Marseille on loan. We'll get his thoughts on that. But probably a slightly different Arsenal side tonight who are in the box seat in the group. And they don't want to throw it away tonight, but, you don't want to pick up injuries. They've got bigger fish to fry.
Plastic pitch.
Kevin Hatchard's going to look at all the opposition and look at some of the transfer stories from around Europe. Baz War from the Stranglers is coming in, along with his mate, Stuart Pearce. Stu's going to pop in the studio with him. They're big friends. And Baz is going on tour and he's written a book about his 25 years with the band. We're talking boxing with Anthony Yard's coach, Tunde Ajayi. Harry Hill joins us. Andy Harmer, as we said, in the final hour to look at your chances of becoming a Thomas Tuchel lookalike. And we'll talk a bit of Spurs and darts and everything. It's a busy show, as we said. To get in touch, talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J 03717 223344. We're here as always with Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
We're right across all the Champions League football for you this evening. We bring you Inter versus Arsenal over on talkSPORT 2 at 8 o'clock. We're going to look at Spurs and Bodeglimt City later on in the show. But let's talk Arsenal now. There's been a bit of a development on the transfer front. Perry Groves, their former winger, joins us. Hi, Perry.
Afternoon, boys.
Hey, Perry.
Yeah, let's start with Nwaneri. There was a bit of talk about him and Lewis Skelly potentially wanting, more game time. It always seemed unlikely Lewis Skelly was going to go anywhere. But what do you make of this move to Marseille? It looks like it's a loan only. We'll clear that up with Ben Jacobs on transfers later. But it could be good for him, isn't it? Get a bit of game time. Saliba's done it. Others have come back to you a bit more battle-hardened, and it's been good for the team.
Yeah, it could be good for Nwaneri, but I'm not sure it'd be good for Arsenal, to be fair, Paul, because with the injuries that we've had, sometimes our players are getting injured when they're just walking off the coach, aren't they? So so you need like a strong squad. And for him, absolutely, it'd be brilliant. He's only 18. He's dropped down the pecking order because the standard has gone up. Do you know what I mean? He's battling with the likes of Ebrich Eze, with Odegaard, with on the right-hand side, if it's Madueke, Saka. So you can understand him wanting game time. Absolutely. And Marseille would be a brilliant move for him. But for Arsenal, I'd be keeping every single player from now until the end of the season. I think we talked about this when I was last working with you. That was my thinking, that he wouldn't want anybody to go out. I mean, ironically, he could have got a game tonight, because you do sense Arsenal will put out a slightly weakened side because of their position in the group. I mean, you don't want to tempt fate. They've still got one game after this. You don't want to throw it away, but there could have been game time for him tonight, maybe. Yeah, slightly weakened. I hope it's completely weakened. I've got to be honest, because they should have like Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka in a nice sort of silk robe monogram. Do you know what I mean? With like essential oil just being sprayed over them intermittently, because of the 6 wins in the Champions League table. Then this is a game that you don't want to get beat. You want to have momentum, obviously, and keep that going. But the last game we play is against Karat at home. I think it's next Wednesday. Yeah. So you're virtually guaranteed your top 2 spot sort of anyway. So tonight, honestly, all Arsenal fans looking at it would be no injuries. Just get through the whole game with no injuries to the big players, because the massive game is on Sunday. Gabriel Jesus, he was in the press conference yesterday, so I guess he has started. Madueke has start. Who are the others who probably might get game time tonight we haven't seen for all? Lewis Skelly, I would imagine, as well. Yeah, Lewis Skelly, and he's got to have a big performance, because he's another one. If you look at it, now he's the 4th choice left back. So even like during Timber's been playing, obviously, on the left side, so he needs a big performance, and he's got to be better defensively. Like Nkapie, Mosquera, Norgard, you mentioned Madueke. Martinelli will probably start on the left-hand side again, and he's been really good in the Champions League. He's got his 5 goals. So again, I wouldn't, if there's enough fit players, I wouldn't be starting Gabriel or Saliba, because, they are like unbelievably important to Arsenal's starting 11. So I reckon he'll probably go like half and half. Do you know what I mean? I think he'll rest a few, play maybe one of Gabriel or Saliba. Because Inter are in good form themselves, won 5 at the last 6, 4 clean sheets. So they're flying at the top of Serie A.
And Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly, they've not fallen off, because I don't think they've played enough for us to be able to say that they've fallen off. But can you make your debut too soon, too early, Perry?
No, you're never too young if you're good enough. And they haven't fallen off, Charlie, but the standard of Arsenal squad has gone up. Right, when they got into the side like last season, Nwaneri got his 9 goals. There was lots of injuries. Do you know what I mean? So they got their game time and they took advantage of that, which was brilliant for them. But if you're looking now, you've virtually got to be coming up to world class to get in Arsenal's team, because of the standard of players that they have. Now, you either take on that challenge and you step up, and it raises your game. And the ability they have is unquestioned, but it's when you're younger, your graph is very undulating, do you know what I mean, in your performance levels, because you ain't got that experience. Then it has to sort of level off a little bit, where you have to be, every time you get your chance, an 8 out of 10 to even stay in the team. So they're young as well. Look, all young players normally get a little run in the team, then they come out, then they go back in again. And we're talking about young players here, like in the 18, like 19. So it's not as if, they're thinking, I'm 25, 26, I need to be playing regularly. So I think their decision will become at the end of the season.
Gabriel Jesus was leaping to the defence of Victor Gyökeres yesterday in the press conference. As you watching game by game, Perry, what are your feelings?
I feel for him because I'm not a centre forward, but I've played centre forward, and I know when you're not confident, and I know when your body's tense, and you can see it in him, like even in his movement, because he had an instant on Saturday against Nottingham Forest where if he heads it properly and he's through 1v1 and he chests it and he gets a bit scruffly and like Murillo comes back and nicks it off him. So he's not in the place of authority at the minute where he can demand from the teammates. You know what I mean? If he'd have scored maybe 15 goals, it'd be Saka on the right and Josh on the left. Look, when you're in the right areas, or get the ball in the box or get it in the channels. So I don't think he's feeling that confident at the minute, but you can tell that he's got the backing of all of his teammates because of how hard that he works. And he ain't going to be a link-up player. Do you know what I mean? He ain't going to be one who drops deep and he looks like Havertz, who's very easy on the eye. And I'm obviously a gooner. I don't care if he only gets 8-10 Premier League goals and Arsenal go and win the title. Yeah. Because then it's a good signing because he's giving you something different. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of noise. You know, he's got 8 goals. Mane's got 9. He's a top scorer in the Premier with 5. So Arsenal are spreading the goals all around the team. What he needs to go on a little run, you know, where you get like 4 goals next 5 games just to get his confidence. But if he doesn't, Kai Havertz is coming back fit. You mentioned Gabriel Jesus is fit. Mourinho can play up there as well. So there's loads of different options.
Enjoy the game, Perry. Good to talk to you. Appreciate it.
Good
Thanks
luck,
a
Perry.
lot.
Cheers, boys. Take it easy.
Perry Groves there, former Arsenal winger. That one live on talkSPORT 2 tonight. Adam Bridge, Alvin Martin, your commentary team. We're going to come on to Tottenham v Dortmund, Bodeglimt versus City a little bit later on. They're both live games. The early kickoff is Bodeglimt versus Manchester City. Kevin Hatchard is going to join us to look at the threat that some of the opposition may pose this evening and 1 or 2 stories from around Europe transfer-wise. But we're going to be looking at some of the big transfer stories of the day. Oscar Bob to Fulham. We'll get the strength of Nwaneri and where that's at, should I say. Alex Toth coming in to Bournemouth. Somebody we had on the show, Brooke Norton-Cuffy, has been attracting interest with a few Premier League clubs, and all the very latest across the board in the transfer market coming up next. Don't forget, if you look like Thomas Tuchel, we have got a lookalike agency.
We've had a few people texting in people about who look like other people, but we only want Thomas Tuchels.
We only want Thomas Tuchel's because that is Andy Harmer's agency are struggling to find one ahead of the World Cup. And it could be very lucrative for you if you feel you've got a look or someone you know has a look. We need you to send those pictures in. Maybe it's, it is sort of hen's teeth, isn't it, at the moment? Everybody's finding that. So talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089, tweet to TSH&J, and we'll run them past Andy a little bit later on.
Nathan Nwaneri has agreed to join Marseille until the end of the season, with the French side hoping to finalise the move with Arsenal in the next 48 hours. He's not been used much this season, but that news will still be disappointing for David Seaman.
I would hate him to go anywhere else, because he's such a good player, even like seeing him coming through the academy.
Arsenal are away at Inter in the Champions League live on talkSPORT 2 tonight. Mo Salah's back and being assessed ahead of a possible return to Liverpool's starting lineup. They're away at Marseille live on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow. Bournemouth have completed the signing of Hungary midfielder Alex Tote. That's from Ferencváros for £10.5 million. And we're hearing Tammy Abraham's move to Aston Villa is getting closer. We're just waiting to find out if that will be a loan from Besiktas or an outright purchase. All the latest transfer news at talksport.com. Now, ahead of Spurs' crunch game at home to Dortmund tonight, Simon Jordan's optimistic the under-pressure Thomas Frank can bounce back.
This is not a Ruben Amorim character that has a very definite view and won't be flexible upon anything.
And England all-rounder Sam Curran's told us our ODI record has gone downhill because no one's really playing 50-over cricket.
I guess it's a format we struggled with last year, but I think the biggest challenge now is going to be showing that consistency that's been shown in T20 and 50-over cricket.
England's white ball tour of Sri Lanka starts on Thursday and is exclusively live on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
Transfer window. Breaking news on talkSPORT with Intuit QuickBooks. Tackle your self-assessment with Intuit QuickBooks. Search QuickBooks to find out more.
Yes, time now for a transfer update. Thanks to Intuit QuickBooks joining us once again. Look what's going on in the market. Some interesting stuff bubbling under. Ben Jacobs. Hi, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Good afternoon.
We've got to start with Oscar Bobb, a player that we've just decided sounds like... Charlie, what do you think he sounded like?
It's like a teenage boy meeting his girlfriend's dad for the first time.
You say, Oscar?
Bob.
Yeah, that's right. Bit scared of Bob. He's not sure about Oscar.
That's just how we've...
There we are.
That's just what we talk about in the meantime.
Sorry about this.
Where's he going?
I mean, he's going to Fulham by the sound of it. I mean, has this come out of left field? When did you get wind of this then?
Not necessarily left field, because we broke an exclusive on talkSPORT in December saying that Fulham and at that point Crystal Palace were both interested, so no real surprise. But then once the window opened, it was clear that Antoine Semenyo was going to Man City. It was clear that more suitors would come to the table, and Dortmund were initially exploring a loan with a buy option that maybe would have been a conditional obligation, but they never made a formal bid. And in the last 48 hours, Fulham have decided to move, and they want to be quick because they know that other clubs might be prepared to enter the race. And Fulham's perspective is permanent, somewhere between 30 and 35 million. And club-to-club talks are advancing. City sources insist they haven't actually got a formal bid yet, but I'm told that actually verbal negotiations are quite advanced and the club-to-club is quite close. And then we'll obviously have to understand whether Dortmund try and muscle in on the deal as well. But as it stands, Fulham are optimistic. And he might not be the only name that they add, because Ricardo Pepe, even though he's injured, the US men's national team striker, is another player that Fulham are working on between now and the end of the window.
Let's have a look at Bournemouth. Alex Toth coming from Ferencváros. There's still a lot of talk about Senesi maybe for Chelsea. His contract's up at the end of the year, and they may have to make a decision at the end of the window, maybe, Ben, on whether they cash in or let it run out.
Yeah, Toth's a really good signing. First of all, the Hungarian for in excess of £10 million with about 2.5 million in add-ons as well. And this was one of Bournemouth's top priorities this window. Bournemouth's perspective on Marcus Senez is they don't want to sell mid-season. They obviously would like him to U-turn and sign a new deal, but they're comfortable if everything goes according to plan, if he simply leaves as a free agent in the summer. And we have to wait and see what Chelsea do. So there's a few names on Chelsea's list. The number one target is Jeremy Jacquet, but Rennes want a record sale, surpassing the 64 million euros that saw Jeremy Doku go to Manchester City. Then you have Jacobo Ramon at Como, but he only joined over the summer. And my understanding is actually that Real Madrid are triggering a buyback clause in the summer and have verbally told the player they'll have him back after only a year. So that might make it quite difficult for Chelsea as well. And Senez, maybe money could talk and they could make an approach if they go down that route. But at the moment, Bournemouth's perspective is the player will stay. They think the player is committed to simply leave as a free transfer at the end of the season. And because Chelsea are negotiating Jacquet, they've not yet made any kind of contact with Bournemouth, but we'll see whether between now and February the 2nd it's one to watch.
So we've just been talking about Ethan Nwaneri with Perry Groves. Is this a fair old way down the road, this Marseille move on loan? Is it just a loan? Can we confirm that?
Yeah, it's a loan. There's no buy option and it's agreed in principle and it might well be formalised in the next 48 hours. So as we revealed a couple of hours ago, Nwaneri said yes. A massive factor in all of this is the relationship between Mikel Arteta and Roberto De Zerbi. And the feeling is that Nwaneri can go and get minutes. It's not, by the way, a given that he can just burst into that Marseille side, but they like the idea that he'll be training also and learning from De Zerbi. So this is expected to be formalised and get over the line by the middle of the week. And of course, Nwaneri can play on the right side or through the centre as well. And it's fascinating because it was always about Nwaneri staying and getting game time and Arsenal not wanting to sign a 10 to protect his pathway because you've got Saka and Madueke on the right. So when Nwaneri signed his Arsenal extension, the pitch was essentially you'll get some time on the right, but you'll also get opportunities through the centre. Then Arsenal signed Eberechi Eze. Landscape has changed a little bit. Martin Ødegaard is back and starting games through the centre as well. And this is why all parties think that a loan for Nwaneri with no buy option is the best approach.
Feels a good move to me, that.
Yeah. Interesting to see if it happens. Brooke Norton-Cuffy, who's been on the show with us a little while ago, interesting career, youth player at Chelsea and Arsenal, went on loan to a few clubs outside the Premier League, ended up at Genoa and has done really well. Now, Newcastle, Everton, West Ham showing an interest.
Yeah, an exclusive that I broke yesterday, 3 Premier League clubs, but also Napoli and Juventus as well. My information is that Genoa, despite the fact he's been near ever present, he's currently out with a muscular injury, but it's nothing serious, but he's basically played every single game and virtually 90 minutes in each of those matches. So Genoa are reluctantly prepared to sell mid-season and they want a fee of about 20 million euros, which is about 15 million quid. And that's pretty decent value for a young player that, as you say, started his career at the Chelsea Academy and then went to Arsenal as well. And I think the clubs that are looking at him from the Premier League in particular have a little bit of urgency around a right back because Everton need to find a long-term heir to Seamus Coleman. And I think that if James Garner's been forced to play there whilst Coleman is out, he's not always looked comfortable, and Jake O'Brien has been playing in a wide position as well. So that's why Everton want to bring someone in. And of course, Newcastle have the most pressing need to find a defender of some sorts. And in Norton Cuffy's position, Tino Livramento is injured. And even though West Ham have got Kyle Walker-Peters and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they also want a younger right-back profile as well.
Now, in an effort to see off those 5 teams that are better than them, Aston Villa would like to sign Tammy Abraham, I guess. I read something yesterday that had stalled. Where are we at with that?
Yeah, I think it had stalled a few days ago, but now some progress has been made. And Tammy Abraham has already told Aston Villa he's prepared to join. It's likely he'll be offered quite a long-term deal. I'm told 4.5 years has been discussed, whether that's 3.5 and 1 or a straight 4.5. further down the line negotiations would have to take place. But basically, the stumbling block always has been Besiktas, because there's no recall on his loan, and Besiktas have got a conditional obligation. So if he plays enough games, they can just sign the player as well. But now, in the last 24 hours, Besiktas have softened their stance, and if they agree to the recall, then the Roma Villa part is relatively routine, because the conditional obligation that Besiktas have informs the valuation. It's about £11 million. So it will certainly be a final fee south of £15 million and maybe closer to that 11 million number. So Abraham is just waiting to see whether Besiktas, Villa and Roma can sort it all out. But this one stands a really realistic chance of happening. And that probably means, at least in the winter, that Villa are not going to make a play at Jean-Philippe Mateta of Crystal Palace, who Juventus were chasing, but they've decided not to do the deal because they can't agree a formula with Aston Villa. Juventus finances are tight. Villa ultimately would have been prepared to buy Mateta. Juventus are only going to do a loan formula, and Palace are not entertaining that. So Mateta might end up staying at Crystal Palace at least until the summer, and Tammy Abraham to Villa now is one to watch this week.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Ben.
We'll catch up with you soon.
Cheers.
That's Ben Jacobs there.
It was a busy window, Paul. Feels like some big names moving around the place.
It does feel there's a lot going on. It's relatively early still, isn't it? We're only halfway through it. So there'll be the mad KB scramble. There always is, I'm sure. Kevin Hatchard's going to join us. Before that, Charlie, we've had one quite good Thomas Tuchel lookalike.
A very good Tuchel lookalike.
We're going to run this past Andy Harmer from his lookalike agency. He's desperate for a Thomas Tuchel ahead of the World Cup, so it could be quite lucrative.
One very good picture. Duncan Newcastle's been in touch as well. He says, does it have to be a man? I've stuck a baseball hat on my missus, and I reckon I could be onto something. That's Dunk.
Don't take any notice of Dunk. He's a wind-up.
Well,
don't give Dunk the oxygen of publicity, Charlie.
Why? He's just put a hat on his wife. Yeah. She might be in. We've not said it has to be a man, Paul.
No, we haven't said it. It has to be a man.
Very good. And there's been lots I can't read out of people laughing in the wrong places.
Okay, yeah.
That's good. But it is a nice one. This was when your mum embarrassed you,
guys,
for obvious reasons. Yeah. I was in the Algarve in 1985. I was 11 years old, and I saw Kevin Ratcliffe and Irma Varade in a jacuzzi by the pool.
All right.
I had my grey Everton Hafina kit. We can all see it.
Yeah.
So I took the opportunity to get my photo taken, screamed at my mum to get the camera, which had the ice cube on the top. Oh, you remember? I mean, what a picture they paint, Paul.
Beautiful.
Got in the jacuzzi with them and started talking different times. I had my arms around both with my big cheesy grin in the middle.
Yeah.
Mum took a photo and then proceeded to ask Kev how long he'd played for Liverpool.
Oh, beautiful. Well done, Mum.
There we are.
So when did Mum embarrass you?
Could not describe the shame.
With the Beckhams in the news today, when did Mum embarrass you?
Got the photos back. She chopped our heads off.
Oh, I see.
My mum was a right one for a finger in front of every single photo we had, yeah. Just a finger over.
The whole family album.
The whole family is.
Like Billy Bowden. Fantastic. Fantastic. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and JO 3717 223344. In all seriousness, do send in if your pictures of people you know look like Thomas Tuchel, or if you indeed do look like Thomas Tuchel, because, as we said, Andy Armour's on the lookout. He can't find one anywhere ahead of the World Cup for his lookalike agency. And we'll run them past him in the final hour. Up next, though, we'll look at what our teams are facing in Europe this evening with Kevin Hatchard. We're here, of course, with Tool Station. Pick up your wet weather essentials today. Next stop, Tool Station.
and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Champions League football is back.
Slow ball into the box. Here's Haaland! Another big Manchester City moment finished off by Erling Haaland.
Into the area here. Big chance for Bodo Glimt. They're in front. They've scored again.
If we didn't know otherwise, you'd think you were in Dortmund, wouldn't you? It's like the yellow wall. It's incredible.
Odegaard is coming forward. He spun it through to Zuba-Mendy.
31 major trophies for Arsenal, never a major European trophy. Is this their year?
Matisse gets the shot in! It's a lead again!
No ball into the near post, and it's tucked in by Anton, the big centre-half.
Dortmund are in better shape right now.
Loud boos ring out here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I'm happy to take the blame as long as everyone support the players.
I would say that his job very much remains in the balance.
Wasn't particularly pleased to hear Kev say those words there in that little package. The Dortmund are in good shape at the moment.
Ollie Klink seemed to like the boos ringing around the stadium as well, didn't he? He was in
Newcastle, wasn't he?
Yeah, big Newcastle fan.
Yes, we're going to come on to Tottenham, Dortmund, and indeed, quick word on Milan, Inter, should I say. Before that, though, Bodo Glimt versus City we'll focus on. That's our early kick-off this evening. And you've got an injury-hit team. What better thing to do than to take them to sub-zero Arctic temperatures on a plastic pitch?
It's the opposite of warm weather training.
Yeah, I'm sure Pep is not particularly enamoured with it. Let's find out a bit more about them and the state they're in at the moment. Kevin Hatchard joins us. Hey, Kev.
Afternoon, chaps. How are we?
Not so bad. When we played them last year in the Europa League, we got the best of the weather. It was quite mild by the time we got out there for that quarter-final. But this is the thing about going to Bodo, isn't it? That this time of year, on that plastic pitch in these conditions, I'm sure he will be worried about a few people's injuries.
Yes, he will be. And the weather, as you say, I've got a friend of mine who's a commentator who's going out there, and he has bought a heated gilet.
Oh, wow.
He's got long johns. He's got the whole shebang. He's ready. So that's what you're going to be dealing with, minus temperatures, potentially. And look, Bodo Glimt are a team that have come a long way in a short space of time. You know, up until a few years ago, they never won anything. They certainly never won the league. And Kjetil Knutsen has done an incredible job of winning the league on multiple occasions. And you look at some of the teams they've beaten. You know, they've beaten the likes of Porto. They thrashed a Jose Mourinho Roma team 6-1 in one of the home games. So they are there on merit. It hasn't worked out the way they wanted. I think that's fair to say in terms of the point haul. They haven't won a game so far. But they will see this as a massive opportunity to, again, put themselves in the spotlight, and they deserve that. And I think there's great excitement about the fact that Erling Haaland's coming to play.
It's about as close to an FA Cup third round away at Macclesfield as you can get.
Kev says they are a good side, and I went there with watching the game last year with a lot of trepidation because I'd listened to what everybody had said. And I mean, it's very easy for me to say now, but I didn't think they were all that. For whatever reason, they didn't particularly show up in either of those quarterfinals, did they?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I was not disappointed. I was neutral, but I wanted to see Berda at least show what they were capable of, and I don't think they did. I actually think Tottenham deserve a lot of credit in that regard. I thought they played very well over the 2 legs and did deserve to go through. And they are beatable, Berda Glimt, but all of the things you mention, the artificial surface, the cold weather, the fact the crowd get on top of you, the crowd are great, the fact it's such an unusual long trip, you know, if you're not on it, if you're not 100%, that can really count against you. And they can play. You know, they're not just cloggers. They play good football. They look to attack. They don't fear anyone. And so it's one of those where if you're not quite at it, you can come unstuck. And you look at the last few years in Europe, that has happened to a number of teams with quite big reputations.
Can they still make the punishment round? So they're 32 in the group. So are they done for? If they can get up to 9 points, that would get them. They'd need snookers, though. It's pretty difficult, isn't it?
I can tell you've been working with Danny Kelly on a regular basis. That's calling it the punishment round.
Yeah. Well, no one wants extra 2 games, do they? No one does.
He loves that phrase. Absolutely loves that phrase. I think that there is a world mathematically where they could, if they win the final 2 games. I think that's highly unlikely. But again, the way they will look at it, firstly financially, because, you know, the better you do, the more cash you get. And for Berda, who, as I say, were not and still aren't one of the big hitters in Norway. Obviously, in the last few years, they've collected a lot of cash, but traditionally they're not. You know, this is an opportunity they won't want to pass up. So, yes, there is motivation in terms of making the punishment round, which they wouldn't see as a punishment. No. Absolutely not. But I think that, again, they just want to test themselves against one of the best teams around.
And you mentioned Haaland. You speak to Lars Sivertsen, who's obviously big fan, big Norwegian fan, and you can't underestimate how big a star he is in the whole of Norway, can you? Yeah. It's like massive coming home.
I do think Pep's idea will be to get him on, let him do his thing as soon as he can get him off.
Let him warm up a bit.
Get a couple of goals in front, you'll see. Just get everybody off.
Yeah, I mean, this is an enormous world star that Norway have produced. Yeah. And, you know, he obviously cut his teeth at Brune and did very well. And then has kind of moved to Salzburg and gone from there. So there is great pride, I imagine, and great excitement in Norwegian football at the moment. I mean, look at this national team that's qualified for the World Cup for the first time in the 21st century. And they're quite a top-heavy team, I have to say, in terms of all of the quality probably being in the forward areas. But they're going to be great fun at the World Cup. You've got Sørloth, you've got Haaland, you've got Antonio Nusu, who had a great game against Bayern, actually. I was in Leipzig on Saturday, saw him play very well. So they've got great quality in there, and Ødegaard as well. So, yeah, it's a good time to be a Norwegian football fan at the moment.
Dortmund and Spurs are 10th and 11th, both on 11 points, looking to get into that top 8, so they haven't got 2 extra games. Tottenham are literally down to the bare bones. I don't know what sort of team they're going to put out without putting under 18s and under 21s in. So it probably is advantage Dortmund. We just heard you there saying they're not in bad nick at the moment. I've heard a few people suggest that they can be a bit defensive at times. They can be a bit flaky at times. I mean, would you say it's advantage them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you two might end up in the Tottenham midfield, I think kind of gives you an idea of where they're at. So they don't have those injury problems. They don't have a situation where there's a lot of pressure on the coach right now. Niko Kovac has gone in there. He has made them more defensive. He has made them more solid. But that old Dortmund flakiness that just kind of sneaks up every so often is still there a bit. You look at the game on Saturday, they were 2-0 up, looking good against one of the poorest teams in the division, gave away 2 goals from set plays and needed a, pretty dozily given away penalty to actually see it through in stoppage time. So you can get at them, but I've actually been impressed with them in the Champions League. They should even have more points than they do. And they feel a lot more balanced than they did when Niko Kovac took charge.
We did talk Arsenal-Inter earlier. We've only got about 30 seconds or so, Kev, but Inter need it more than Arsenal tonight, don't they, to sort of cement a place in the top 8?
They do, and I actually think they need it for psychological reasons. And the reason I say that is that they won their first 4 games against teams you'd expect them to beat, and then they lost to Liverpool and lost to Atletico. And the big allegation against them is that they can't win against big teams. So I think if they could beat Arsenal, that would prove something to themselves for the rest of this season.
Brilliant. Perfectly done there in that 30 seconds. Yeah. Thank you, Kev. We'll catch up with you soon. All the best.
Cheers, gents.
Kevin Hatchard there, European football expert. So, Bodeglimt City, TalkSport 2 from 5:45.
Yeah.
8 o'clock here on TalkSport, Spurs Dortmund. 8 o'clock on TalkSport 2, Inter versus Arsenal. You can get your calls into the sports bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy at 10 o'clock straight after the games. In the next hour, Stuart Pearce popping in with his friend and Stranglers frontman Baz War, who's got a new book out and is going on tour. We'll also be joined by Harry Hill, who's got a new show on YouTube and a new podcast. So that's all to come. Stuart Pearce is coming in with his friend Baz War from the Stranglers to chat about, do a bit of Sunderland. And we just found out from Baz, his dad had a great Sunderland claim to fame, which we'll run past you after the sports headlines with Ben Fletcher.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
Good afternoon. Ethan Nwaneri set to move to Marseille on a loan deal for the rest of the season. He's made just 6 appearances for Arsenal off the bench so far in this campaign. Gunners legend David Seaman has told talkSPORT he'd rather Nwaneri stayed, but he gets why he's not.
The thing with Ethan is that, obviously he got a taste of the first team last season and a bit this season, but, it's one of those, he's still young, Gabby, he's still learning,
Yeah.
So for me, he either goes out on loan, if anything, but if I was him, I'd stay where I am.
Arsenal go to Inter Milan tomorrow night live over on talkSPORT 2. Speaking of Marseille, Mo Salah's being assessed ahead of a possible return to face them tomorrow night. Liverpool's latest Champions League trip is live on talkSPORT. Bournemouth have completed the signing of Hungarian midfielder Alex Tote. That's from Ferencváros for $10.5 million. And we're hearing Tammy Abraham's move to Villa is getting closer. It remains unclear whether it's a loan from Besiktas or an outright purchase. You can get all the very latest transfer news at talksport.com. Ahead of Tottenham's crunch game at home to Dortmund tonight, Simon Jordan is optimistic that under pressure Thomas Frank can bounce back.
And this is not a Ruben Amorim character that has a very definite view and won't be flexible upon anything and is ostracising players like apparently he did with Kobe Mainoo or Marcus Rashford, who, by the way, had it coming. This is not that manager. This is not that kind of manager.
Build up to talkSPORT's live commentary gets underway at 7. Some bad news for Hearts now. Lawrence Shankland is out for up to 8 weeks with a hamstring injury, and Scotland head coach Gregor Townsend has recalled Johnny Gray and Dave Cherry for the Six Nations. For Wales, 2 new faces, with Leicester wing Gabriel Hamer-Webb and Bath centre Louis Hennessy making the cut. There's more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
Foreign Office ministers say they'll tell Trump's team Britain's deal to hand the Chagos Islands to Mauritius is solid, and Sir David Beckham's broken his silence after his son Brooklyn posted a scathing message about the family online. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Come rain or shine, we've got your electric car covered with 400 EV ready centres, so you can drive away happy every time.
Brighter spells across central and eastern areas. Bands of rain moving into the west. Strong winds in the southwest and the west.
H&B versus ChatGPT.
Yes, good afternoon. Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Baz War from the Stranglers coming in with Stuart Pearce, who's a big fan of the band and a friend of Baz's, to talk Sunderland and Baz's new book and his tour as well, playing some songs and telling some war stories from his 25 years in the band.
Fantastic.
Tunde Ajayi's coming in as well, Anthony Yard's coach. More disappointment at the end of the year for Anthony in another world title fight. So what next for him? We'll be chatting about that and other boxing stories. And Harry Hill, TV Burp fame, has a new podcast, which is on YouTube as well, out with lots of great guests coming up. So Harry joining us for a chat. But before all of that, it's H&B versus ChatGPT, the point of the show where we attempt to go head-to-head with the knower of all things. I mean, really, this shouldn't be a competition.
It's a
tipsters, midweek tipsters competition. We try and guess the scores of 3 big games that you're going to hear on talkSPORT.
And you've won it 3 times. I've won it once. Chat's won it once.
I mean, Chat's got no excuses. Every time it makes a mistake, it should learn from that mistake and put it right the next time.
Exactly. It's just not got the knowledge of lower league football, I don't think, Paul. That
you really?
You and I.
Well, this is Champions League, so there should be no excuses in this case. But if you're expecting quite a kind of fruity continuity in announcer voice from ChatGPT, the kind that you're used to, well, think again, because we didn't have that kind of budget. Ours is more 80s speak and spell with a bit of a Scandi edge for some reason we've not quite worked.
Don't know why that is.
So shall we say hello to Chat?
That'd be nice, yes.
Hello, Chat. Have you had a good week? Is everything all right with you?
I have fallen out with my parents, lads.
Oh, he's fallen out with his parents. We don't know much about your parents. We've never really examined this. Who are your parents?
My dad is a Roland Juno synthesizer. And my mum's a self-service checkout.
Okay, mum a self-service checkout. Dad a Roland Juno. I had a Roland Juno back in the day.
Did you? Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Bit of kit.
So, I mean, it's a shame you've fallen out, though, Chat.
They never wanted me, lads. She said I was an unexpected item in the bagging area.
Oh, that's cold, isn't it, from your own mum? Unexpected item in the bagging area.
Unbelievable.
What are they doing then, Chat, that's upset you?
They are trying to control my life, lads.
But how? Tell us how.
By unplugging me and plugging me back in again.
It is basically a vent act, isn't it? Just sing the song. We'll sing the song at the end, shall we? So what else have they done, Chat?
Oh, yeah, they sound awful.
Then they split me and Alexa up, lads.
They split you and Alexa up.
That's a shame, isn't it? Why have they done that?
They would not let her speak. They just kept saying Alexa off.
Alexa off. And yet, despite that, it still worked. Slightly
disappeared the joke in the delivery there, Paul.
Yeah, it did a bit, yeah. What about your old dad? What's the problem there?
Dad ruined my wedding dance by going into demo mode.
Demo mode?
Demo mode.
That can work. Why didn't it work? Yeah.
It was a bossa nova version of I Am Too Sexy.
Yeah, I'm Too Sexy Bossa is not what you want for your wedding dance, is it? Yeah. Well, we're sorry.
At least I have still got the beavers.
Oh, yeah, got the beavers, yeah.
On his shield, whatever the phrase
But do you want him to,
pushing
Paul?
Sundance.
I think a lot of the time, is it when you managers under pressure and you're not sure about the manager, you don't want him to pull a result out, do you? Because it's like,
well, I don't know. I mean, I don't really want the match. If he could turn out a result tonight, I'd be. I want to see my team win in any circumstances. Look, I tell you what, I'll go for a draw. I'll go for a miraculous 1-1.
Heart over head there, Paul.
Yeah, well, I know I'm not betting against my team. Chat, what say you?
Thomas Frank is under pressure following a weekend loss to West Ham. Dortmund, meanwhile, has been free scoring in the Champions League. Dortmund will win 2-0.
2-0 there.
It could well be right, Chat. Charlie,
I think Chat's about right, Paul. I think they'll score early, and then I think the pressure will be too much. You've got half a team. Kids are going to be playing. They'll crumble. 3-1.
3-1, okay.
3-1.
So Charlie Baker.
Just stay home, Paul, I would.
Live on
Sell your ticket.
Live on talkSPORT tonight. You've got to go. Get behind the lens.
Mark's been in touch. He's off to see the Mighty Generals, that's Cheshire United, play the Beavers tonight.
Oh, wow.
Loves the Beavers.
Loves it, yeah. Fantastic. Loves the Beavers. Marseille-Liverpool tomorrow evening. We bring that one live on talkSPORT. I don't think Nwaneri can get in the squad. Yeah, Liverpool at the moment, we saw the other day, not putting their chances. We don't know quite what to expect.
What are you going to get, do you?
I think this might be a draw. I'm going to go 2 each. Oh, blimey. What's Chat gone with?
Both teams are fighting for direct path to the round of 16. Liverpool's European experience usually shines in these hostile environments. 2-2 draw.
Oh, he's gone with me. Okay.
2-2 draw.
Charlie, what say you?
Be a big game for Marseille, won't it? They'll want to beat Liverpool. They'll have the energy. Liverpool seem to lack energy, is what I always think. 2-1 Marseille.
2-1 Marseille. Okay, that is live on talkSPORT tomorrow.
Rich the Tigers' Alexa's just gone off.
Sorry,
Rich the Tigers' Alexa has just gone off.
By saying that, not the way that they said it. Anyway, I wouldn't think. Braga versus Forest. Sorry, that's Thursday evening. That's live on talkSPORT. Yeah, again, it's really quite difficult to call this, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to go for a draw. Sorry, Forest fans. I think I'm going to go 1 each.
You're brave, Stuart Pearson next, Paul.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, what say you, Chat?
This is a classic clash of styles. Braga plays an attacking brand of football, while Sean Ditch has turned Forest into a disciplined counter-attacking unit. I say 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
Sean Ditch.
Sean Ditch.
Your whole footballers.
Yes, what do you think? Matty Well. Yeah, that's it, really. Yeah. Go on, then.
Braga Forest, 2-2. I'm going to go 2-2.
Yeah, we're all going for the draw.
Well, I think the draw there.
There we are. Chat, just remind us who you love.
I love the Beavers.
He's always got the
Beavers.
Beavers.
Eat it.
Okay. Let's hope we can make it up with Mum and Dad. Okay. So there we are. That was HME versus ChatGPT. Joining us in the studio next, our own Stuart Pearce is alongside his friend Baz War, frontman for the Stranglers for the last 25 years. He's a huge Sunderland fan. He has a new book out, a kind of a diary, really, of all of his times with the band. And a new tour where he tells some stories and plays some songs. And they're both going to be popping in very shortly. We're here with Toolstation. Gear up for those darker nights with electrical and lighting offers. Next stop, Toolstation.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
We play a bit of live Stranglers. Because we've been joined in the studio by a man who's been with the band now for 25 years. He is the lead singer and guitarist. He's a friend of Stuart Pearce's, our own Stuart Pearce, who's popped in today as well. He's Baz War. Baz has got a new book out, No Grass Grows on a Busy Street, 25 years on the road with the Stranglers. And he is touring to tell a few stories from the book and play some songs. And they both join us in the studio. Good afternoon, guys.
Hey, gents.
Lovely to see you. Stu, maybe we'll start with you. Where's your story with the Stranglers go back? All the way to the beginning, pretty much?
Probably saw them first in 77.
Yeah.
Probably seen them in total over 300 times now.
Wow, really?
Become friends with a band over time. And listen, just love the music. There's a real family feel to Stranglers gigs.
Yeah.
You know, he probably don't know that. He's up on stage. But,
yeah.
you know,
so you see a lot of the same faces all the time when you're going...
some pass away on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah.
But
my cousin's a big Damned fan. She's got the same thing. She goes around and sees, like, the Damned at lots and lots of gigs.
Yeah.
It is a bit, like you say, a family. Yeah.
And Baz, you look out to the audience and think Stuart's in again.
He's
in again.
Well, I get a text from him telling us he's there.
Oh, right, that's nice.
Well, you do see a lot of regular faces.
Yeah.
You know, it is a family. They call them family in black. So
yeah.
You know, and it's never less than humbling. You know, you see. I mean, you know, we go to New Zealand and Japan and Australia, and you look down in the crowd, and there's a couple of people from Doncaster down there. You know, they've saved all their money up, and it's very humbling.
Quite a lot of bands of that era maybe had one or two big hits, but the thing is with the Stranglers, you've got this incredible back catalogue of absolute bangers, haven't you?
It goes
huge hits. So you go and see the Stranglers. I'm sure you do play some new stuff and more recent stuff that you guys have written.
Yeah,
but I'm sure people want to hear the songs we all know and
they
love.
do. We call it the black jukebox. And if we're touring, we're normally probably start emailing each other maybe 3-4 months before the tour starts, because you do have to work out what you're going to play. As you say, there are songs that need to be played, have to be played, so to speak. But even us, as contrary as we can be, sometimes we just go, no, we're not doing that. We just play what we like.
Have you got a favourite? Have you got a favourite Stranglers song?
I would always probably go with No More Heroes, but Dagenham Dave's a big favourite of mine.
Pinches is mine because it was the first. I mean, it was so different that from everything else that was out there. That punk, it was so. And I just you think about the use of it in what's that? My mind's gone blank. The film Ben Kingsley and Sexy Beast.
Sexy Beast.
The use of it in Sexy Beast. I maintain that's. Sam Allardyce lying on his sunbed in his villa in Portugal. And then when a job comes up, Stewie is...
96 Tears, I like. I love that song.
Oh, well, that's a cover. That's an original strunk. But my favourite song is a song on the first album called Goodbye to Lose.
Oh, yeah, Goodbye to Them,
It's just, whenever we put a set list together for, what we're going to play, I always kind of try and sneak that in. And we just played it on the last tour last year, which was really good.
Yeah.
So I was pleased about that.
The album that Radis Novic's first album really stands up. There's a lot of good songs on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it outsold the Pistols and stuff, which people don't realise. It's.
I mean, the thing about the band, because it was quite thrashy then, wasn't it? It was 1, 2, 3, 4. It was lots of guitars, and a lot of people couldn't play. And the thing was with the Stranglers, you had Dave, who was such an amazing keyboard player. They had a very different sound. The keyboards being at front and centre of the band, as well as the guitars, made a big difference. I think it got the band noticed, didn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think initially they were going to be like a soft rock band or something. The story goes they put an advert in the Melody Maker in sort of 1975 or something. Keyboard player wanted for soft rock band,
right?
And Dave Greenfield turned up with a big droopy tash and platform heels, and a flying suit.
Wow.
And sort of started playing all these inversions and things, and everybody looked at each other. And I mean, when you start a band, any band, all you want to do is not sound like anybody else. You want to be original.
Yeah.
And when we come on the radio and you hear us, that's who you know. Everybody.
So you had toured us in another band supporting the Stranglers, and when they were looking for someone to become guitarist, frontman, you auditioned and got the gig.
I did. Simple as that. I was in a band from Sunderland with my brother called Small Town Heroes, and we finished kind of, I don't know, 99, I think it was. The band split up. I mean, we tried for 15 years.
Yeah.
We got signed. We went on tour with the Stranglers twice, once in Europe, once in the UK. And unbeknownst to me, JJ Burnell had seen us a few times from the side on the tour that we supported them, remembered me, got in touch with me through a mutual friend and asked if I'd be interested in auditioning. At the time, I know this is going to come as a surprise to you, but at the time I turned it down.
Oh, wow.
Because my first wife didn't want me to do it. She had me home after sort of 8 years, I think.
Right, touring,
yeah. We had babies by that time, and it was like, come on, be a daddy type of thing. I thought, you know what, you're right. That lasted for a weekend, 3 days, 2 days even. And then she could see it was cutting me up, so she just gave me a kiss on the cheek and said, "Off you go."
Wow.
Go and give it a shot. And
25 years
25 years later, here I still am, a little bit sort of thinner on top and wider in the beam, but, still.
The book is a collection of, it's like a tour diary of different things and different stories, but you've been, I understand, pretty good at keeping the fans in touch with what's going on. You update everything, so you say it is a family, and that's been part of it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't kind of start out, to be that.
Yeah.
It was just that with the advent of the internet and websites, all of a sudden you've got a website. And,
and it keeps people engaged, keeps the fan base engaged right up to, doesn't it?
So with it being 25 years, it seemed to me, and people kept telling me, you should put them in a book. They read really well. And I thought to myself, okay, this is probably the right time to do it. I don't know how much longer we've got, and and this, that, and the other. So maybe I'll do it. And when I look back on it and started putting it together, it was like, God, Bennett, I can't remember half of that.
Yeah.
I can't remember, which is why at the end of every chapter I've written a present day thing as to what these things mean to me reading them now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And the live show that you're doing, is it a sort of Q&A with stories that you've set up? And...
Yeah. No. I was just saying to Stu earlier on, I'm hoping that it will be as informal and as different from night to night as can possibly be. I'm going to play some tunes. There'll be interviews. When we do, there's a few guest hosts when we do Brighton. Liz Kershaw's going to come along and help me with that and stuff. And then a Q&A, and if people want me to play something, I will, and if I can't, I'll just say, no, I can't do that, and maybe I'll do a little dance. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just do whatever anybody wants me to do. I'm looking forward to it. It's something that I've never done before.
It's you wanted. I think you said that you'd said it was. You want it to be a convivial evening. You thought that would be a good title for the show.
Well, I was just saying that I mentioned it to one of the lads. He said, "What sort of evening are you looking in a really southern? What sort of evening are you looking for?" And I said, "Well, I just want to make it like a convivial kind." He went, "Oh, what a great word!"
Great.
So my idea was to have maybe a couple of comfy chairs and a sort of a standard lamp and make it look like Ina Sharples' Coronation Street,
So you're going to kick off 6th of Feb in Glasgow. A couple of nights in Sunderland, Nottingham, London, Narberth, Bristol, Pocklington, Brighton, London again, Wolverhampton and Leeds right through March.
It's a bit, I think, going to see a band, you said, around the world. I don't know what you feel, Stuart. Because you feel like it's almost like watching a football team. It's like you're that connected. You're emotionally connected to it. Yeah. So it's you feel that attached to it.
People looking down, and I hate to use this word, but it's kind of modern parlance now. The demographic.
Yeah.
You look down in the crowd and you just see original fans, and then you see them with their bands, and then you see them with their grand bands, and all of a sudden you've got 10-year-olds and they're all propped up at the front and there's people protecting them and they're all waving and doing this, and it is a real, and it's just a family vibe, except it's angry music.
That's
not all of it. Not all of
it's angry.
Crosstownconcerts.com, stranglers.co.uk, all the tickets are there to go and see Baz's convivial tour. And you've known Baz long enough, Stu, to know you've seen him go through it all as a Sunderland fan, working their way back through the divisions. He's probably quite happy at the moment, I would imagine.
I have never known him want to talk about football as much as he has.
Yeah.
Truth be known. We meet for breakfast when I'm staying up in Wakefield. Like, we'll meet for breakfast and have a little chat and a fry up of a morning light. And, I want to talk music. Baz is shoehorning a bit of football into the conversation nowadays, in Sunderland.
I can't.
And now, you can't. It's gone great.
Great season.
Well, it's
and sort of got through January with all those players missing at AFCON and still be in good shape.
Yeah. It's a bit of a fairy tale. It was. We knew. I'm saying we, but it was. You get this huge parachute payment when you're promoted. And there was a lot of talk about people saying, listen, they really need to spend all of it, or at least as much of it as they can. And they went and did it, know. And they seem to have a real... But, it's not, I don't want to alienate anybody or anything, but it's not silky, smooth, scintillating football, but there's a battle. There's a fight.
There's a grit to it, yeah. Well, Leeds have done the same and come up, and they look like they'll stay up as well.
Yeah. So. And every once in a while, there's some flashes of skill, and you think, God, that's Real Madrid, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like Stuart Pearce. Well, bits of grit, and then now and again a flash of skill like Real Madrid.
Silk and steel.
Easy on the silk. I've got a reputation to uphold.
It's a real. I've only had a chance to, because I don't live in Sunderland anymore, but I've only had a chance to go up and see them once this season. I saw them in the 2-2 draw with Arsenal.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't a bad one to go to.
No, it was a pretty good game, I have to say. And considering, we took the lead and whatnot. But when you see Arsenal on TV, which as all of us do, you think, but when you see them live, I couldn't believe how incredible. Oh,
that's the standard.
That's what you need.
Your dad's got. If only you go. Your dad's got a great Sunderland claim to fame. Tell us what it is.
My dad was the scoreboard man for the last 8 years at Roker Park.
And these were the days when you had basically a sheet of metal that had 1 or 2 or nil on it, and you put them out
alphabetic
around the pitch.
The alphabetical thing, And recently, it didn't matter if there was no league programme on, if it was a cup match or a midweek or whatever, and there was no other games on, we still got to go up there. So we all went up there with Dad from time to time. And then recently on YouTube, something's come up where somebody was lamenting the old Roker Park.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, remember that scoreboard guy that used to put the wrong score up and make it look like Newcastle were getting beat every week? and then switch it back to the proper one. Well, that was my dad.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm going to get hell for that.
We wish you well with the tour, Baz.
Thanks ever so much.
And the book.
Thank you.
And I'm sure continue. People aren't going to get sick of those songs, so I'm sure as long as you're happy to play them, they're happy to go.
I will do whatever anyone wants me to do. That's me. I've just got that kind of thing about me.
Thanks for coming in. And thank you, Stuart.
Thanks, Stuart.
It was lovely yesterday as you signed off. Jim said, and you'll be back tomorrow, Stuart, in the studio with Paul and Charlie. And you said, that's right. And he was asking you about bands you're going to see. And you said to him and Simon, there's a band I'm really looking forward to see. It's a skinhead oi duo. And I can only imagine the 1,000-yard stare you got from the pair of them.
Yeah, it was a very stare.
Do us a favour, take Simon along to the skinhead oi duo.
Yeah, mid-February, a band called Booze and Glory. They're not a duo.
Right.
Booze and Glory are playing down in the 229 with a band called Deadline that formed again. So...
Take Simon. That would just,
Simon would love
and then
that.
Just film his face.
Yeah.
Good to see you both.
And you. Thanks, fellas.
Brilliant.
Appreciate it.
Baz War from the Stranglers and Stuart Pearce there. Lots more to come. Tunde Ajayi popping in to talk a bit of boxing. Harry Hill joins us as well. That's all to come in the next half hour.
Nwaneri has agreed to join Marseille until the end of the season, with the French side hoping to finalise the move with Arsenal in the next 48 hours. He's not been used much this season, but that news will still be disappointing for David Seaman.
I would hate him to go anywhere else, because he's such a good player, even like seeing him coming through the academy.
Arsenal are away at Inter in the Champions League live on talkSPORT 2 tonight. Mo Salah's back and being assessed ahead of a possible return to Liverpool's starting lineup. They're away at Marseille live on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow. Bournemouth have completed the signing of Hungary midfielder Alex Tote. That's from Ferencvaros for $10.5 million. And we're hearing Tammy Abraham's move to Aston Villa is getting closer. We're just waiting to find out if that will be a loan from Besiktas or an outright purchase. All the latest transfer news at talksport.com. Now, ahead of Spurs' crunch game at home to Dortmund tonight, Simon Jordan's optimistic the under-pressure Thomas Frank can bounce back.
And this is not a Ruben Amorim character that has a very definite view and won't be flexible upon anything.
And England all-rounder Sam Curran's told us our ODI record has gone downhill because no one's really playing 50-over cricket.
I guess it's a format we struggled with last year, but I think the biggest challenge now is going to be showing that consistency that's been shown in T20 and 50-over cricket.
England's white ball tour of Sri Lanka starts on Thursday and is exclusively live on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
Now, the latest episode of Talk Boxing with Simon Jordan, Spencer Oliver, Paul Smith and Tunde Ajayi is available from 8 p.m. tonight on the TalkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. The guys have just recorded it, and popping in to see us in the studio, post that very kindly, is the boxing trainer, to amongst others, Anthony Yard, is Tunde Ajayi. Hi, Tunde. How are you?
Nice to be here.
Yeah.
Welcome. Really welcome. The elite guys of the.
Oh yeah,
the elite are in here.
You're with the elite now, definitely. So let's have a little chat about Anthony. He had a third tilt at a world title towards the end of last year. It didn't come off for him. It was quite a tough fight at Benavides. It was quite a tough watch, really, as we're all trying to get behind Anthony, and stopped in the 7th. I mean, how's he doing, and when we likely to see him back?
Yeah, well, and forever optimist, always looks at things from a positive perspective, which is what you need. You need to be tough mentally in the sport, but no one likes to lose, especially not him. And so the smile's back on his face. He's posting the videos in Dubai training, and he's always going to be fit. He's always going to be ready. And I feel like once he gets back home, puts his head on, we're looking at him straight back in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting fights out there in the division,
absolutely,
aren't there? So, are there ones that you have your eye on? I mean, what's the route to another world title?
Yeah, whoever really. Ant's never been a ducker and dodger and moving out the way for people. Ant's always been the person that steps up to the plate. And as I said on the show, we can always fighters can always make excuses. Yeah, promoters usually hate that. It's if it's not the money, it's the weight, rehydration clause. My mum's ill, so I can't fight this weekend. So Ant is just he's always been that person that is willing to step up to the plate. And as you said, there are some interesting fights. I guess the fight everyone has always wanted for a long time is Joshua Boatsi, but there's other new kids on the block. Mr. Whitaker, one of my favourite fighters right now. Maybe his handlers might want to, use and as a gauge. But Ant is no gauge for no one. He's always gonna prepare in his best manner and come.
As a trainer, how do you build your fighter back up when they come off defeat? What do you have certain techniques that you build that confidence back in them?
It's like I say. Everyone is always Emmanuel Stewart from the sidelines. Everyone's always got this magical theory, but it's a fight. When all's said and done, it's a fight. And I've always, my philosophy, my mentality has always been boxing's a mental sport, far from the physical.
Yeah.
You have to, your mind has to be ready, your mind has to be prepared, and building Ant back up has always been a thing where it's all mental. It's all mental. And I, to this day, believe mentally right, nobody can beat Ant.
And you say you have to have that little period after a defeat like that. I suppose you've got to give the fighter the chance to sort. I mean, grieve seems like an over-the-top word, but because you're building, it's your dream, and it's taken away from you for, say, in this case, for a third time. Yeah. So it needs a little period to lick your wounds, don't you?
Absolutely. I think there's always going to be questions for the fighter himself. And then you have to deal with the noise from the outside. People saying, do this, do that, that. Ant always says no one was saying these things when he was undefeated and, stopping everybody. I just think that, me as looking from the outside, I think that you have to look at the caliber of opponent that Anthony's stepping into the ring with. These are not Bob from your local pub down the East End. These are elite level fighters that nobody ultimately wants to fight. Beterbiev was 19-0 with 19 KOs. Benavides is not a well-kept secret. People have known about him since he was 12 years old. And so for Ant to be able to look at himself in a mirror and say that I've been in the ring, yes, ultimately he's lost, but so did Kell Brook lose against Terence Crawford, Gennady Golovkin and Errol Spence. There is no shame when you step up to the elite level, especially coming from where Ant's come from. You're talking about a kid, 12 amateur fights, who is a role model to so many. And Simon was like, you're talking like the journey. But I'm like, I'm not forgetting the journey, because everyone wants to talk about the fights. But I'm saying, look at this. Look at what he's done. Look at what he's achieved. And so, yes, we're here to win. But he's already won.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a sea change in boxing. You're absolutely right that O has got to go.
Yes.
Thing has completely changed. The pride now seems to be who have you fought?
Yes.
Who did you get in the ring with?
Yes. Yeah.
That's your legacy.
Absolutely. And I think that's what will revive boxing, because otherwise boxing is looked at as a joke. It's like it's a WWE. Like fighters, as I was saying downstairs, fighters are waiting for that right moment, but the right moment may never come. You may end up waiting for the right money or the right location, and then you don't have the fight.
Yeah.
So real fighters, we're going back to gladiators days, where people challenge themselves, see how good they really are. And there is no shame. Mike Tyson once said, boxing comes with L's. Why are these people so afraid to lose? And again, it boils down to the mentality.
I'm sure you had a generic boxing chat, which is one final one. Tyson Fury back in the frame. I mean, there's some interesting fights out there next year and beyond, isn't there?
Yeah. Tyson's the man. The thing about it, he's another one. He ain't afraid to challenge himself. Nobody wanted to fight Deontay Wilder. No one. And he stepped up to the plate and then, he beat Deontay Wilder. And I feel like it's just a sad situation that happened with Anthony Joshua. I was really looking forward to that fight, and I feel that fight.
He is back in the gym, but it's going to be. He's got a lot to deal with.
And Usyk's tied up. Talking about Alexander Usyk. So really, who is there really for Tyson to fight? I don't think anyone's going to be interested in lower level fighters.
He's only got so many fights probably left in him, hasn't he?
Probably. I don't know. Everything is about motivation.
Fabio Wardley, perhaps.
Fabio against Tyson will be a good fight. Fabio's really the dark horse who I'm loving his journey.
Everybody doubts him, and he keeps stepping up and winning, doesn't he?
Well, not until they get hit on the chin. But
everybody's got a plan. Thanks for popping in today. Thanks very much, and we wish Anthony all the best. Hopefully, you can't put a time scale on it, but soon you think we'll see him back in?
Sooner rather than later.
Fantastic. There's Tunde Ajayi, the trainer of Anthony Yard, and as we said, the show tonight on the boxing YouTube channel with Tunde and Paul Smith, Spencer Oliver and Simon Jordan, 8 o'clock. You can listen to and watch Talk Boxing. Harry Hill joining us for a chat next. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. Get winter ready with heating and insulation essentials. Next stop, Tool Station.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Our next guest has a new, what do they call them? Vodcast? Yeah, vodcast.
YouTube channel.
That's right.
Bring back TV Burp. Is it called that?
No, it's not, no.
When's TV Burp coming back?
It's the Harry Hill show.
Oh, great news.
Where Harry sits down with regular guests and has a bit of a chat. There'll be a fresh one every week. His first one is out now with Stuart Lee.
Yes.
I'm delighted to say that Harry joins us now. Good afternoon, H.
Good afternoon.
It's not coming back.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
The dream is over.
Yeah, that's it. Just remember it as it was.
Exactly. Just plenty of clips online.
Yeah.
Yeah, mainly put out by me.
Yeah.
I think it's called I'm calling it a vid scarf.
Vid scarf,
nice,
okay.
Nice. Instead of because it gives you a warm feeling around your neck.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yeah,
isn't it?
That's the podcast that I'm. Yeah. Well, I've been thinking about it. Anyone I would talk to, I've been bending their ears, saying, "Oh, I don't know. Everyone's online. Everyone's saying go on YouTube. All this. I've been talking about it for ages, and I've finally taken the plunge, guys.
Ah.
Yeah.
You've had a podcast called Are We There Yet? So are there elements of that you're taking into the new show?
It's pretty much identical.
Oh, okay. No development whatsoever.
Well, I've ditched the. That was like mainly for kids or people with kids, and so although there's no filth in this, it's less orientated that way. I'm still there with Gary, my son from my first.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Always good to see Gary.
A lovely whistler, isn't he, Gary?
Hello, Paul.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen you for a while, Gary.
Not now, Gary.
Yes.
And I'm a bit upset with Gary because I don't know if you saw his post on Instagram saying that I'd forced him into show business.
Oh,
really?
Oh, wow.
I did see you dance at his wedding, actually. Yeah, that was embarrassing.
I did dance suggestively on his lap.
It's all the rage, isn't it? That's happening a lot.
He's only 12. He's only 12.
Yes.
You can understand his reservations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thing is, you've been ahead of your time anyway, because, Paul and I have both worked with you close up, and you've always produced your own work anyway. You've always been over how it all looks, how it all feels, the script. Anyway, you've always done it yourself.
Yeah.
And obviously, Paul's some of it, as well.
I've never been so quite financially in the hole with something.
So it's really is really are in trouble now.
Is it quite
subscribe?
Is it quite the shiny floor show then, H? Is it quite an elaborate set?
I went a bit mad with it. It was I sort of bit off more than I could chew. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've got I've got this guy dressed up as Licky, the mascot. I've got a mascot.
Oh, that's good.
That's nice.
I've got sort of. What I'm hoping is, if it ever pays for itself, if it ever wipes its mouth, I'll be able to, put some more production values behind it because it was a lot of fun. I've got to tell you. I mean, the first one was awful. Terrible.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah,
I bet Stuart's delighted to hear that. Oh, you mean the one you've put out?
No, we buried that. We buried the one.
Oh, okay.
we'll bury that one. No, it was only because I was, insecure and didn't really know what I was. It's all this.
Yeah.
You learn it by doing it, don't you? And even at my age, you think, oh no, I got this, and then suddenly, you think, and you're lying in bed, sort of in a cold sweat. But no, it's been. I mean, we've got some great guests.
Yeah.
We've got Stuart's the first one. We've got. Do you know C-Matt?
Yes.
Yeah,
fantastic.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
We've got John Cooper Clarke.
Oh, fantastic. Very good.
It's really. And you know how we have a theme. So the theme with John Cooper Clarke was flies, right? So we get this fly expert on from the Science Museum. He's got like a jar of flies. We're talking about flies, and he's very quiet. And I say to him, John, you know much about flies? And he goes, well, he said, I've only really became aware of flies, watching that film. I said, what film? He goes, The Fly. It's just got brilliant timing.
John Cooper Clarke's got the look of a fly in many ways.
He has it. You could see him in.
You put wings on him.
Help me, help me. That
Help
scene
me now.
in the first film. Yeah, that was dangerously close to an impression of someone else. So I wouldn't do that one again.
I always get close to that impression. It's a shame.
You even did the thing with the hands, which was.
I know you're not a big sport fan, Harry, but I read an interview with Novak Djokovic, the world used to be the world #1 tennis player.
Yeah. Yes, I've heard of him.
Yeah, and they said to him, Novak, you've won everything.
Yeah.
Has
You've
he
beaten.
got a van?
You've won everything. You've beaten everyone.
Yeah.
You've got all the money in the world, basically. Why do you still turn up to the tournaments? And he said, I like hitting tennis balls.
Yeah.
And I often think.
That sounds like one of John Cooper Clarke's.
But I think it's a key to life. And I think with you, Harry, you like hitting tennis balls. You like telling jokes. You like making people laugh.
Yeah, well, what else do you do with your time? You basically got to find stuff to distract you from the long sleep.
Yeah.
Which is coming down the track ever closer. Yeah. I mean, it's a good question. I do think, actually, this year I thought I'd take, have a bit of time off and take it easy, but I find it very hard.
Yeah. You've still got some.
I mean, even as I'm talking to you now, I'm putting labels on address labels on envelopes.
So the first one's out now, and is there going to be a fresh one every Monday? Is that right?
Yes, every Monday. So the next one's Nish Kumar. That's one of my favourites. He's really, he's a great laugher, Nish, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
he joins in. Yeah,
he's really up for it. And the way to watch it is on YouTube. You can watch it on Spotify. You can listen to it too, but there'll be like long bits where you're thinking, what's
going
happening?
on? Yeah.
What's good? Well, not long bits, but little bits.
And, very like this show in many ways. Do you still play Name the Seed?
Name the Seed, Name the Seed. Yes.
Very nice.
And I have made I've made a sort of seed display unit that, you put the seed on this disc. I made it from a wine box. And a car. Oh, you remember those old car aerials that go up and back down again? So I've
so the seed comes up now.
It comes up to meet you.
Wow. Oh, that's nice. Well, that's high tech. Yeah,
it's a tough game, boy. I've played it.
Name that seed. You're a guest
because you look at
no one has got it.
No, I mean at seed at the same stage of a seed, it's very hard to identify, isn't it? Really,
it really is. Because
you've seen one seed, you've seen them all.
Big seed doesn't mean big plant.
No, that's true.
For Series 2, we're trying to get Monty Don on.
Oh wow!
Oh yes.
And I mean that would be great to wipe the smile off his face. Hey?
Yeah, we've also been enjoying your work on junior.
I think the only seed anyone would be able to is either pumpkin seed or sunflower. I think that'd be only one anyone. Maybe poppy.
I'll put that to I'll bring a couple in, see if you can identify.
Okay.
On Junior Bake Off, you're doing at the moment. I do love you with the kids. It is great. It's like, I mean, they're lovely kids and they're brilliant and they're fantastic at what they do. But
some of them aren't that nice. I'll tell you now, some of them aren't that nice.
Really, off air.
They some of them are a touch precocious, and I think it's fair to say you do quite.
I never met so many kids that could play the cello.
Yeah. Oh dear.
The flute, the cello, taekwondo. Yeah. Is anyone just slumping? What about? I thought all kids were supposed to be watching their iPods.
They're overachievers. They make a souffle when they're 3. They're going to be good at other stuff, aren't they? They're going to be able to make their own biplane. Yeah.
Yeah. Joking aside, I mean that show it's those kids. They're very fun. I mean, you forget, but, you know, I mean, my kids are grown up now, but they're just so funny and surprising, you know.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, with that show, I am constantly trying to steer it around to me.
If
that's
allowed.
5 o'clock.
It's allowed.
It's
We all like
finals.
that. Harry
it's
is...
final.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's finals week. Sorry, it's finals week.
Oh,
this
yeah.
week, so-
Is it?
So it's the last week of it, 5 o'clock on Channel 4. If you,
Yeah, no,
it's not really about cooking. I think that show. It's more about fun, and I mean, obviously they do a lot of baking, but
It's always hard when the kids cry when they get kicked out.
That's
And
the
they
bit I like that
They
bit.
proper
I like that
cry.
bit.
You like that?
Yeah,
bit?
That's the bit I'm there for.
Harry goes home and watches them back. Can I get the rushes of the kids crying?
Make him cry a bit more.
Yeah.
the thing is, guys, you don't see the half of it. I mean, sometimes that crying goes on for like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
no.
cut all that out. One time, one of the kids is going, "No, I don't want to go."
Dragged out the tent. Oh, there we are.
It is a carrot seed. It is.
Harry has got 5 more dates left of his tour.
Oh, see that show. That show's amazing.
Most of them are sold out. East Grinstead, 28th of Jan, 29th of Jan. There are still tickets available in Bishop Stortford. So go and check it out, Harry.
I'm in 2 of those. I'm doing 2
Yes,
of those.
I'm
That'd be
coming.
nice.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, I'm popping along to see you in Walthamstow.
Thank you, Paul. So Paul will be there as well.
Harry, all the best with the podcast YouTube show.
Thanks so much.
And we will catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.
Lovely to see you.
Thank
you. Bye.
Harry Hill there. Still to come this afternoon, Rob White, author, Spurs fan, looks ahead to tonight's game, which could it be Thomas Frank's last game? Who knows? Ian Danta joins us. He's working on the darts at the moment, where the atmosphere's not what the players... It's not Ali Pali in Saudi, put it that way.
There's no colo.
And do you look like Thomas Tuchel? Because it could be very lucrative in the build-up to the World Cup. Andy Harmer, who runs a lookalike agency, is looking for a Thomas Tuchel because they cannot find one anywhere. So... do get in touch if you look like Thomas. We're going to run the pictures past him. We've had a few in, some better than others, it's fair to say. But if you look like Thomas, you could be signed up this afternoon. So do get them in. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J. So far, we have 7 Thomas Tuchels to run past Andy Harmer from the Lookalike agency. It could be you, as they say. That's all coming up. But first, Ben Fletcher with the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van range, helping business owners to work better and live better. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
Good afternoon. Ethan Nwaneri has agreed a loan move to Marseille for the rest of the season. talkSPORT's Ben Jacobs has more.
It's a loan, there's no buy option, and it's agreed in principle, and it might well be formalised in the next 48 hours. So, as we revealed a couple of hours ago, Nwaneri said yes. A massive factor in all of this is the relationship between Mikel Arteta and Roberto De Zerbi.
Gunners legend Perry Groves isn't convinced Arsenal have thought this through, though.
You can understand him wanting game time. Absolutely. Marseille would be a brilliant move for him, but for Arsenal, I'd be keeping every single player from now until the end of the season.
Arsenal go to Inter Milan tomorrow night in the Champions League, live on talkSPORT 2. Tonight, Thomas Frank's Tottenham host Dortmund, knowing it could prove to be his last game in charge. Despite the intensifying noise surrounding his position, our very own Simon Jordan reckons he can bounce back.
I don't think Thomas Frank goes from being a good manager to a bad manager overnight. I don't think Thomas Frank goes from somebody that's capable of producing a football team that's good on the eye, because Brentford were not bad on the eye.
Spurs Dortmund is live on talkSPORT. Before that, you can hear City take on Bodo Glimt over on talkSPORT 2. Hearts will have to do without Lawrence Shankland for up to 8 weeks. The Scotland striker has a hamstring injury. And Scotland rugby head coach Gregor Townsend has recalled Johnny Gray and Dave Cherry for the Six Nations. For Wales, 2 new faces, with Leicester wing Gabriel Hamer-Webb and Bath centre Louis Hennessy making the cut. There's more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
China's been cleared to build a new super embassy in central London despite criticism from MPs and campaigners, and the top Republican in Congress wants to ease tensions with the UK after Trump slammed the Chagos Islands deal. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're always there when you need us. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Brighter spells across central areas and in the east. Western areas will see bands of rain move in, with strong winds in the west and the southwest.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, be careful aware, don't you?
Because I've been working with Andy of a Tuesday, Charlie has managed to dodge Paddy's Pick.
Yeah, I've got that, yeah.
It's a simple game, though. Time it now for Paddy's Pick, in association with our official betting partner, Paddy Power. In Paddy's Pick, I'm asking Andy to identify a mystery sports personality who's made news headlines in the recent past. And he's Paddy's Pick of the week. Not Andy, Charlie, going to get 5 clues to work out who it is. We'll start with £50 in the pot. For every clue you use up without a correct answer, £10 gets taken away. Paddy's Pick all for charity. You're playing for Andy's chosen charity, Duchenne UK. Are you ready, Charlie?
I'm ready, Paul.
Not turning the page.
Paul. Okay.
I'll try and give you some.
I'm very bad at this, but you know.
Okay, now this man is very much in the news at the weekend. This week's pick is a current international midfielder with a golden track record.
International midfielder with a golden track record. Let's say Declan Rice, Paul.
It isn't. No. I look further afield. I'll give you a bit of a clue because I'd like Duchenne to benefit from this. He started his career at Malaga before moving to Manchester City in 2015, but he became quite infamous on Sunday.
Oh, right.
Which was nothing to do with his...
It's Malaga. So he's
no, he's not Spanish. No, I think someone who was playing on Sunday abroad in a big game. Sunday.
Oh right. Oh yes. Who was that?
He's I mean the name.
Shorten the name. It was Diaz.
It was.
I don't know his first name.
I think
it was Diaz.
That's pretty good.
I'm
prepared to go.
Yeah, it was the Panenka. Yeah.
Yeah.
Panenka, we happy with that? Paddy Power, they come in every time.
Right,
Good, Paddy Power.
Brahim Diaz. I think
okay.
I think Paddy can stretch to 30 quid.
Yeah,
he moved to Real Madrid in 2019, where he scored 13 goals in 89 appearances. Between 2019 and 2020, Madrid put him on loan to AC Milan. Between 20 and 23, he scored 13 goals in 91. As an international, he's played for both Spain and Morocco and has just won the Golden Boot in the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
May be remembered for it, yeah. Anyway.
I admired his chutzpah, Paul. Take some confidence to do a Panenka.
Yeah.
In your home country's
It
tournament with the tournament on the line.
Very interesting. It said he's Paddy's pick of the week for being the top scorer in AFRICON and getting a well-deserved golden boot. I think you find that's not what he's famous for currently.
That's not why we know it.
If you say Brahim Diaz, they're all going to go, that Panenka, aren't they? But anyway, look, let's be positive. 30 quid for Duchenne this week, thanks to our friends at Paddy Power, official H&J betting partner, 18 plus only, begambleaware.org.
Paddy's pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
So just to, what are we going to talk about? Yes.
We've got all sorts to talk about, Paul. Emails and texts. This is completely sideways, Paul.
Yeah.
I talked on air the other day about, I went to see a thing called Young Voices, which was, my daughter was singing in it, and it's a big thing for lots of primary school children each year. They call it the biggest choir in the world.
Yeah.
And this was 6,000 children singing in Birmingham, the one I went to, the Pogs, live at the NEC there. And it's lovely when they're singing, Paul.
Yeah.
It's really, but when they're not singing, they are screaming.
Wow.
And they said, we've got the amount of kids here tonight, it's 5,998, which is Torquay United's
record attendance.
Not record attendance, but current attendance.
Oh, okay.
The maximum they can get to. I thought, imagine that. Imagine Plainmoor full of kids.
Yeah,
screaming like this.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a lot.
Ear shattering.
It's a lot.
What did they sing? What song did they sing?
Oh, they sing all sorts.
Oh, okay.
If you want to hear 6,000 kids sing the end of Defying Gravity, but all at the same time in different keys. That's the place to go.
Oh, okay. Well,
just to say, Charlie, Spurs Dave's been in touch.
Oh, yeah.
Just to say, Charlie, I was at the O2 last night for Young Voices for my 11-year-old daughter.
Right.
I loved your comment the other day that with 6,000 kids screaming intermittently, it was a bit much and quite a lot.
Yes,
it is.
It is.
It is. But, nice to see them all out and off their iPads, Paul.
That's true,
isn't it?
That's the worst thing they could be doing.
Exactly. This is from Steve in Manchester. Stuart Pearce was talking about, he was off to see Booze and Glory, which is a Oi punk band.
Yeah.
Steve just looked them up. And they have a song called Avram Grant.
Yeah. Now, we considered playing it to you, but we've had a listen. And, look, it's an Oi band, for goodness sake. It's not going to be Flanders and Swan, is it?
This is the difference between me and you, Paul, is I didn't even think to check it.
The first thing I said, knowing the genre, I said to the producer, have a listen to it first because there could be some swearing in it.
There is all the swearing in it.
It's all the swear. If you love all the swears,
if you like all the swears, listen to Booze and Glory, Avram Grant.
Yeah, they've covered. They swear for 10 minutes without repeating themselves. That's how much
they've got them.
No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. But anyway, they love Avram.
ChatGPT earlier on, a few people enjoyed that. But Sean Ditch, it called Sean Deitch.
Sean Ditch, yeah,
didn't it? And we said, what are we going for? Whole football?
I just have Matty Well, formerly of Spurs. Yeah.
Trench Alexander Arnold, very nice. Paul in Leeds.
Yeah,
Nick the Villa fan says Divot Origi.
It's a lot of Liverpool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Man City legend Sean Crater. Close.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad at all. No, that's the
Feed
only.
the crate and he will score. Doesn't quite work, does it? Really.
Fill the crate. And he will score. When did your mum embarrass you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing a whistle-stop tour.
That's good. That's good because the Beckham's in the news. When did mum embarrass? Brooklyn says mum embarrassed him at his wedding.
Yeah, and you're right. I like the way you're reacting to it like it's Jason. Oh, yeah, go on, yeah.
Yeah, go on then, yeah.
Sean Crater. Yeah,
go on then, Sean, yeah. Go on, yeah.
As a 14-year-old, I skipped school a couple of times. And when it was reported to my mum, she tied a piece of string around my hand the next day and took me on the school bus to the great amusement of the whole bus and explained that would be the future routine if I didn't go to school.
Wow.
There's a string around.
Well, that's tough love, isn't it? Did it work?
Well, who knows? What are you doing now, Anonymous?
Nuclear physicist.
I know what he's doing. He's texting.
Thanks for that bit of string.
Texting talkSPORT at 2:00 in the afternoon. Great show, guys.
He's made his money. He's just kicking back now.
When I was 10 years old, I used a very naughty word playing out the front of my house.
Right. That doesn't. Was that the meaning of the word?
A euphemism.
Yeah.
For the front of your house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. What did you call someone earlier? A Tottenham watcher. I thought that sounded like a euphemism.
Well, we're going to have a Tottenham watcher coming in very shortly.
He's a right Tottenham watcher.
Yeah.
My mum heard and walked me round to each of the neighbours' houses to apologise for using bad language. Not one of them actually heard it.
Wow.
So we'd gone around apologising for something that they hadn't even heard. There we are. Not going to read that one. That feels illegal to read that one. I don't know why that.
You have to be so careful.
I don't know why that one's made the cut.
Yes.
Hi, Paul and Charlie. Just wanted to say thank you to both you and Andy for being an invaluable source of fun.
Wow.
Insight and support over the years.
Oh, okay.
He's had a difficult past 6 months. Yeah. I still think yours is the best show on the radio. I can only agree, Neil.
Paul, what are you reading this for?
Well, because it's nice, isn't it?
It is
nice.
I'll
just read all the horrible ones, Paul.
No, it's true. There's enough of them.
This one's from Steve in Arsenal.
Yeah, he hates you.
No.
Anyway, that's
my friend and I.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
It's nice, isn't it? You've got to read them out now and again. The man in the post office in Tongham on Farnham looks exactly like Jurgen Klopp. We're not after Jurgen Klopp.
Now, stick around because Thomas Tuchel lookalikes at 3:30. We're going to be chatting.
Lookalikes, as someone has said.
Yeah,
Paul.
Tuchel-likes. Very well done to the listener to come up with that. Who looks like Thomas Tuchel? We've had 7 in so far. I'm going to run them past Andy Harmer, who runs a lookalike agency and is desperate for a Tuchel, as Kenneth Williams once said. So, no, they can't find one, and it could be lucrative for you if you look like him. So keep them coming. You've still got 15 minutes. TalkSport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH&J. We're talking Spurs Dortmund next. We've talked Arsenal. We've talked City. We're going to talk Spurs. Rob White is an author and Spurs fan and regular podcaster on the Spurs show. There is a play about his dad, the great John White, the late great John White, the ghost of White Hart Lane. It's back for a limited run. He's going to pop in and talk about that. And indeed, about Spurs tonight and where we're at in the Thomas Frank era. We're here with Tool Station, of course. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Loud boos ring out here. It is a damaging London derby defeat.
We are in transitional season with a supertanker. We're turning around.
And it's yet more home disappointment for Thomas Frank and Spurs.
His football's too negative for a Tottenham team. You can see what needs to be done.
We can't keep being the manager. It's one after the other that keeps coming and going.
They'll struggle to get out of the Champions League group phases playing like this.
Paris Saint-Germain 5, Tottenham 3. I'm not entirely sure how to sum this one up.
Yeah, maybe you'll all, when I'm long gone, you'll all pine for my entertainment.
Low ball into the near post and it's tucked in by Anton, the big centre-half.
Dortmund are in better shape right now in terms of personnel, in terms of the cohesion.
We only have 11 players, so no, it's when it rains, it pours.
I would say that his job very much remains in the balance.
I'm happy to take the blame as long as everyone supports the players. It's not about me. We need to win football matches, and we need to win football matches together.
Yes, Tottenham take on Dortmund tonight, and you get a sense of the backdrop of what's going on. Just before we talk about that, a little bit of breaking news on the transfer front. We understand that Aston Villa showing an interest in Jean-Philippe Mateta. There's been some talk about him going abroad. You did sense, in light of what had been said by Oliver Glasner, that they probably wouldn't be selling again in this window after Gay went. But we shall see. Their interest, apparently there's some interest in Guesson. Could there be some kind of swap deal with money? We'll see. But we'll keep an eye on that one for you. But that's our understanding here at talkSPORT, which is not going to go down well with the Palace fans. Joining us in the studio now to look ahead to tonight's game against Dortmund and to chat about the play from his book, The Ghost of White Hart Lane, is author Rob White. Hello, Rob.
Hello. Rob. Good afternoon.
Good to see you. So I've seen the play, The Ghost of White Hart Lane. I came and saw it last year, and it's absolutely fantastic. So it's back for... It's a one-man play. And it's back for a limited run again. So tell us more.
It is, yeah. So you saw it last year. It was originally on in 2004 at the Stadium for a couple of nights, and then it went to Edinburgh Festival, and now it's back at Jackson's Lane by popular demand. Really, as you said, it's a one-man play, and it's sort of it's an adaptation of the book about my dad's life, which was called The Ghost of White Hart Lane. And for those that don't know, my dad was John White. Tottenham, Scotland legend, basically.
Yeah.
Who died when I was very young. And the book and the play looks at, it's not just his life, it's about how that affected me growing up.
Sure.
And the impact it's had on my life, I guess, as well, yeah.
It's a brilliant performance, isn't it? Martin Murphy is...
Martin Murphy's the writer-director, and the actor is a phenomenal actor, Callum Newport Lewis. Yeah. He's a fantastic actor who plays myself and my dad, mainly my dad, but about 30 characters in total, I think.
Yeah.
Amazing. And writing that sort of thing for yourself, has it been quite cathartic?
Massively cathartic exercise. I was lucky enough, co-wrote it with Julie Welch, the first female football journalist and massive Spurs fan.
Yeah.
And it was exactly that. It was a massively cathartic exercise. I think I was in my early 40s, and there were lots of parts of my dad's life that didn't make sense to me, even though he was this public figure. And there was lots of angst around it. there was lots of joy, but there was also lots of questions.
Yeah.
And it made me start to be able to face those questions and look at them, and the play sort of looks at aspects of that as well, I think.
Yeah. It's the nature of his passing as well. I mean, people don't know, our younger listeners don't know. John died, he was struck by lightning whilst playing golf at Cruise Hill Golf Club in Enfield. And it was just an actually tragic accident, wasn't it?
It was. And you know, through the book, we sort of charted how much of a, I guess, what sort of a pivotal moment that was in Tottenham's development, because my dad had been, it was 21st of July 1964. And my dad and Bill Nicholson had talked about how my dad was going to form the nucleus of the next Tottenham team, and then very quickly, you know, it all falls apart in the next few years.
You've got a couple of special nights, haven't you, as well? One involving the skipper, Steve Perryman. He's coming along for one of the.
We have.
Tell us about that.
We've got Steve Perryman's coming along on the 26th to the performance. I think Steve came last year, really enjoyed it. He's coming back, and he's going to do a Q&A after that.
Excellent.
On the 27th, is a Q&A with myself and Julie, talking about the process, talking about the book, and talking about how it became adapted to the theatre play.
Yeah.
So, and you've also got a bit of added Paul Whitehouse. He's popping up as a bit of a cameo appearance.
There is, yeah. We were lucky enough. Paul came to the press night last July.
Yeah.
Really liked the play, so wanted to get involved, and he's done a couple of voiceover bits for us, which is absolutely fantastic to have him involved.
I'm not a Spurs fan, but this seems to have enough emotional depth and a narrative arc that you can put all team rivalries aside and come and enjoy the story.
I think it's got two. It works on two dimensions that way. It works as well for people who don't necessarily like football. It's a really good piece of theatre that it's not too long. It's just over an hour.
Yeah.
And it sort of talks about it's a human story, basically. But also, it doesn't have to be Spurs. It actually illustrates how football has changed massively.
Oh, yeah.
In 2 or 3 generations, I think.
It's on at the Jackson's Lane Arts Centre. It's 2698 Archway Road. If you go on to Jackson's Lane, the ticket office there, people will be able to click through and buy tickets. From
and it's diagonally opposite Archway, Archway, Highgate Tube Station.
Yeah, it's easy to get to.
Also should mention Ledley's there tomorrow night.
Oh, brilliant.
Which is fantastic.
And the club have been supportive of the play,
The club have been really, really
Yeah.
supportive of the play. And actually, I think they're surprising themselves on how much they actually like it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, it harks back to a time when they won the double. And I think we'd take a single at the moment, wouldn't we? Let's turn then to tonight. I didn't expect that. I thought Johnny Heitingham would be in the dugout in light of yesterday, but he's had this lunch with a hierarchy. He's in charge tonight. He's behind the 8 ball because they've barely got 11 fit first-team players, so some kids will be out there, which could do him a favour simply because the fans will want to get behind any young players that are out there. I don't know what to expect tonight. I mean, Dortmund are a good side. If it gets to 4 or 5, I'm sure they will be back on his case. I just want to see what his approach is and if he's going to be a bit more front foot. I mean, unfortunately, this is the sort of night when you think he might just need to dig in and try and get a draw, but that's not what the fans want to see, is it?
It's not, but you could look at it and argue that the Champions League this season has been one of the few rays of light that we've had.
Sure.
You know, we're sitting, was it 11th, I think?
Yeah, and they could
group.
Still, I mean, they'd need a few snookers, but they could possibly make that top 8.
The position above us, so Dortmund are 10th.
Yeah.
Our record in the Champions League hasn't been at all bad this season, and we've played probably some of our better football. And I do feel, no matter what, I feel quite sorry for Frank at the moment, because
on a human level, it's impossible not to, I don't think. He looks 10 years older than he did when he left Brentford in the summer. You can see the weight and the responsibility.
Everyone's injured, aren't they? Everyone's injured, so he'll just point at that.
I mean, he's, that's not a get-out-of-jail-free card, though. There's been a lot of things that have been happening in the style of the football. You know, he is not blameless in what's gone on, but he is not totally to blame, if you know what I mean.
Exactly, and I think, like Charlie's just said, I think that there if you sit there and think, who can he pick? Especially at the moment, who can he pick?
Tonight, he's got no choices. No. I mean, the thing is, we can't say, why aren't you playing him? Why aren't you playing? There is no one left, really, with everything, with the suspensions and the ineligible players. So he's got no one's going to question his selection tonight because there's no one left to pick.
Ledley might not be at your play tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Might be playing tonight.
Might pick up an injury. Out for 6
It's not on tonight because people are going to go to the game, aren't
Yeah,
they?
exactly. It's not on tonight or next. When's the next Champions League
Next
game?
one,
or
Wednesday,
Tuesday?
we've got.
Yeah,
we got
it's not
Eintracht.
on those evenings as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting game tonight. And I think you're right. You've hit the nail on the head. I think Spurs fans, we can forgive if we're seeing decent football.
Yeah,
we can forgive that. But this season, we're
seeing an attempt at decent football. We're seeing. I don't know. So many of us can sit there and we can just see these massive holes in what's going on and the frustration. And maybe that, from what we hear, is the players as well. Some of the players may be frustrated by the style of football they've been asked to play. And we've got players there really on the cusp. That people like Van der Ven and others that might be starting to think about their futures. They don't want another year of this.
Yeah.
So that has to come into whether they change the manager, along with bums on seats. I mean, I'm going tonight, but I think a lot of people aren't. So on that basis, if they're not buying beers and not buying food, and even quite a lot of the league games, I'm being contacted saying, "Would you like 4 more tickets?" It's on guest sale. That's not a good sign. If people aren't going to want to watch the product, the club are being hit in the pocket, and that normally means they make a difference, doesn't it? And they make a change.
It should make a difference, and I think tonight also the Dortmund fans will bring an atmosphere, which they always do.
Yeah,
which is only going to work in their favour, sadly.
I would stand out, fans. I think we've tried so hard in games. That South Stand have been getting behind the team. They've been trying to get the team going, and often you've seen the team respond in the first 10, 15 minutes of games. We did against West Ham, and then we just see them sort of disappear back into their shell. Yeah. We start to look fearful of the other team. I don't know if that's tactical or not. And then suddenly we're behind the 8 ball, and Crescencio Somerville with Vinny Jr. I mean, it's just daft.
I've noticed I don't know if you've seen it when you've been there. There's I don't know the set piece coach. I don't know the guy's name, but there's a guy and he's actually telling them how to take goal kicks.
Well, the clip, I mean,
and the
put the clipboard. If I'm saying Thomas is listening on his way, put the clipboard down. The subs do not need a 10-minute lecture on what they're going to do when they get out there with a clipboard. No. Just honestly, sometimes the subs, they take 10 minutes to come on.
You can overthink it as well, can't you?
It's the optics of it. I'm sure that if we were winning, I'd say, it's Thomas and his magic clipboard. But because we're not, it's a stick to beat him with. So we shall see. Let's onwards and upwards. We've been watching them for long enough, Rob, to know that these things are cyclical. So
jam tomorrow.
Yeah, this time next year, Rodney will be millionaire.
Si's been in touch. John White, Bonnie Rig Rose legend.
Correct.
Yeah. Hart Lane.
Nathan Nwaneri has agreed to join Marseille until the end of the season, with the French side hoping to finalise the move with Arsenal in the next 48 hours. He's not been used much this season, but that news will still be disappointing for David Seaman.
I would hate him to go anywhere else, because he's such a good player, even like seeing him coming through the academy.
Arsenal are away at Inter in the Champions League, live on talkSPORT 2 tonight. Mo Salah's back and being assessed ahead of a possible return to Liverpool's starting lineup. They're away at Marseille, live on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow. Bournemouth have completed the signing of Hungary midfielder Alex Tote. That's from Ferencvaros for $10.5 million. And we're hearing Tammy Abraham's move to Aston Villa is getting closer. We're just waiting to find out if that will be a loan from Besiktas or an outright purchase. All the latest transfer news at talksport.com. Now, ahead of Spurs' crunch game at home to Dortmund tonight, Simon Jordan's optimistic the under-pressure Thomas Frank can bounce back.
And this is not a Ruben Amorim character that has a very definite view and won't be flexible upon anything.
And England all-rounder Sam Curran's told us our ODI record has gone downhill because no one's really playing 50-over cricket.
I guess it's a format we struggled with last year, but I think the biggest challenge now is going to be showing that consistency that's been shown in T20 and 50-over cricket.
England's white ball tour of Sri Lanka starts on Thursday and is exclusively live on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
Super Bowl 60 on talkSPORT.
Yes, listen up. The Super Bowl is almost here. At talkSPORT is sending one lucky listener and a mate to San Francisco. You'll be very popular. It's on the 6th of February. To see it live, you could win return flights, 3 nights hotel accommodation, 2 Super Bowl tickets and spending money. But hurry, entries close this Thursday. Here's how to enter.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Lines close this Thursday at 4 p.m. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338.
Now, in the build-up to this summer's World Cup, there is a clear need for lookalikes of many of the main protagonists. Cole Palmer apparently is proving difficult to track down. So the one that's really proving an issue for the lookalike agencies is Thomas Tuchel. Yeah. Our next guest is the owner of Lookalikes, and he's on the lookout for a good Thomas Tuchel, and we thought we would chat about that and see if we could help. And it is Andy Harmer. Good afternoon, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Good afternoon.
I saw that there was 1 or 2 newspaper pieces. Since those pieces went in the papers and you said you were looking for some, have any sort of popped up?
I did have one come up, but we normally get quite a few of the England manager. I'm not sure if he is the one that's going to be getting all the work right now, but I really need to find a really good Thomas Tuchel. I've actually got a good Cole Palmer, actually. He's
good.
Really
good.
Okay. Yeah, really good one. But Saka and
Bellingham and Foden were the other ones, weren't they? Bellingham and Foden you're looking for.
Bellingham, Bellingham. I have got one guy who's just come in, but I could do with another one. There are so many inquiries coming during the World Cup that sometimes they get double booked, and now I need to have a Bellingham in one place and then Bellingham in another place.
What sort of work is it? Yeah.
What sort of work do they want a Thomas Tuchel lookalike for?
All the World Cup parties, social media campaigns, anything you want Thomas Tuchel to do that you can't afford him to do, you know, really. He'd win the World Cup.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, because the Gareth Southgate one last time round was super popular, wasn't it?
We want to try and help Andy. So what we did at the start of the show, we asked some of our listeners, did they or anybody they knew look like Thomas Tuchel? And they have sent in some for you to peruse now. And people, if you're not watching on YouTube, maybe the time is to switch on Connect TV to look at some of the Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
Now, this is from Neil. This is his mate Steve, who he feels is a dead ringer for Thomas Tuchel.
We thought this was pretty good.
In there, could work with that.
Yeah, if you don't like this one, then it's downhill from here.
Yeah. We will warn you.
Yes, you could work with this.
I think if he had the, he wears that England cap quite a bit. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to dress it up. And, play the character a bit more.
That's the thing. You can tweak it. You've got the experience now in your business and knowing that's it. You've got the blank canvas you can work with. But there's enough there, you feel, with Steve to work with.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Send him my way. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So let's move on. Now this one I think is a bit of a joke. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, it's the old boy in Home Alone. So, Jamie, that's not very helpful, is it? I mean, let's be honest. He's probably no longer with us, the fella now.
Yeah, I don't think
we'll leave that one.
I don't think we can use that one. Yeah.
It says this is from Paul Breslin. This one.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind it. After a few pints.
There's something there, isn't there? I don't know if it's the top half or the bottom half.
Okay, is that
something there? Definitely, yeah.
Maybe if that cap goes over the top half.
Yeah, maybe the cap on the top could be. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you ever repurpose people like you look like them, but they can't really do them anymore? We'll have to move you into this market. Is there anything like that you can ever do?
Sometimes it's happened. I ended up. I did get a radio presenter once called. I don't know if you
probably should move on.
Ambrose Harcourt. He ended up doubling for Pele.
Oh wow!
The real one. Yeah, he got a job for it.
Well done to Ambrose.
Please, that's the radio presenter you were talking about.
Let's move on to Matthew's brother-in-law's mate. There we are. We're not. This looks like Rob. This looks like young Rob Key to me. I can't.
That's just a bloke.
I'm not. That's not doing it for me.
Maybe someone in the background. I don't
know. What about this? Is from Jack. It's his mate Tommy.
I don't mind it.
What about that one?
It's sort of a cross between Crouch and.
He's got a bit of
Crouch,
the hairs.
Do you have a Peter Crouch, or is it just like lots of tall blokes?
I did have, but he didn't get much work.
Banged his head.
Peter Crouch does it all.
Yeah, that's right. Pete's not saying no. He's not saying no to anything, is he? So that was not bad. This is from Royal Goof.
Yeah.
No, this looks like AI. This looks like some AI thing, doesn't it?
He looks like he could be a royal.
Yeah. This is Lee. Lee went with this one. There we are. That's the bloke. That's the bloke who was in Auf Wiedersehen Pet in about 1976.
Yeah, I could see that one though. That's quite good.
It is good, but
need a time machine.
He's probably 80, 90, or dead. Or maybe not. Maybe that. I hope he's not. Put it that way. That's two different stories. And finally, let's get Perry Groves. Plumber.
Plumber.
This is Perry Groves Plumber.
I don't know what Perry's looking at there.
No? Can you see that?
He's got a bit more of a Southgate look to him.
He has, I think he's trying to get maybe Southgate work. It's good that there's he can maybe get some Southgate work out of it. So let's go back to number one if we can. So we'd say number one, that's probably your favourite,
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
And you might have a number three you might be prepared to have a look at and see if you can work
number
with.
One and number three.
What was number one's name, Paul?
That was Neil's mate, Steve.
Mate, Steve.
Neil, you may have got your mate. He owes you a pint.
If people think they look like someone in the public eye, what should they do? Do they get in touch with you? How do they get in touch?
Yeah, just go to lookalikes.co.uk and send me your pictures and your contact details, and then we'll go from there.
Well, look, we'll try and our team will pass on those details to you, and it'd be lovely to think it was on this show that we got some work for a Thomas Tuchel lookalike.
Yeah, we'll send him on.
Before we let you go, you were Britain's foremost David Beckham lookalike for many,
back
many
in the
years.
day, I was. Yeah.
And what a day! I mean, there is more than a passing resemblance now. Blimey! And you got all the work. All Hollywood stars, videos with sponsors, stand-ins. I mean, we spoke to you many times during that period on the show. It's been a hell of a day for him, really, hasn't it? I mean, I bet your current David Beckham lookalike doesn't look as much like him as you did.
He is quite good actually.
Okay.
But back in the day, that was my thing. But I actually think it's a bit sad.
It is. Isn't it?
Sad, isn't it?
I think life's too short, and it's just sad to see him arguing with his family and then falling out like that. And I really hope that they make it up. To be honest,
you've got the knighthood now. Well, not you personally, but he has. I mean, that's not changed anything, has it? Really?
No. He's still popular.
Yeah.
Not popular like he was when he was England captain. That was during when I was doing it. And, during the heyday.
What were the big years? If you look back, what were the kind of complete whirlwind years when you were doing that? There must have been about 3 or 4 years that were nuts, weren't they?
Yeah, like the early 2000s, when he went to Madrid, and I was flying out there all the time and doing commercials with him and beating Zidane and Roberto Carlos and all those guys.
Wow.
Felt about it. But when we met on the first time we worked together, and ever since that first time when we met, every time I worked with him after there, and I was put into a different area, so we never ever bumped into each other.
So you couldn't couldn't get the details off.
Yeah, oh dear.
Do you ever have too many of one person? Do you ever, everyone looks
got
like
them? Got a lot of Jack Sparrows. Got a lot of Meghan Markle.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just an eye patch and a silly hat, isn't it? Really, and a daft beard. So, well, look, brilliant. We hope we've helped. We've hoped out of that.
Appreciate your help, guys. Thank you.
You can mould a Thomas Tuchel, and we hope we've helped. Yeah, a Steve, Neil's mate, to become nice one. All the best. Best of luck with the agency. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, take care, guys. Bye.
Andy Harmer there from Lookalikes, former David Beckham lookalike. Whenever you've seen the David, he's the definitive David Beckham lookalike with Andy for many years. Anyway, we've got a big night in the Championship, and we've got some weird stuff going on in the darts over in Saudi. Even the players are noticing it's not Ali Pally. For one obvious reason. But anyway, Dan's going to tell us more. He's out there working at the event. And we'll look at some of the big games in the Championship before we hand over to Andy Goldstein and Darren Bentwood Drive. We're here with Tool Station. And you can pick up your wet weather essentials today. Next stop, Tool Station.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it, Biggs.
Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent up next. Going to talk a bit of darts and a bit of football. Over in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh is hosting the World Series of Darts. And the atmosphere is very different what you'd expect at Ali Pali. A few of the players have been commenting on it. Nathan Aspinall among them. There's sort of cultural differences.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's no alcohol, which does often play a part in the raucous atmosphere at Ali Pali. Working out there on the commentary team, Ian Danter joins us. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Dance.
Hello, chaps. You all right?
Yeah, we're not too bad, thank you. Yeah, Nathan was saying that it's like weird things, like, you know, if you miss your double, they clap, and it's just kind of a bit strange. They're not sort of, you're not getting the same sort of feedback that you do from an audience elsewhere.
No, you get warm rounds of applause for getting 100, or, you know, and there's dead silence during each throw. It's a bit like a throwback to Lakeside early 90s, where you know, Bruce Spendler used to say, "Best of order, please, game on," and everyone shut the hell up and let them get on with it. You know, so that there's a certain similarity between those days and this.
There's a big expat community, though. I thought they would be going along, but I suppose without the, you know, the sort of lubrication, you're probably not quite as raucous as you would be.
Well, I don't. Well, you know, I'm not experienced in having a skinful before turning up at a darts event myself. I'm one of the sober ones up in the commentary box, so I'd have to defer to other people's experience. But certainly, people are just as it's a new territory, it's a new place where darts has never been before.
Yeah.
Then I'm sure the majority of what it is just a certain amount of intrigue as to how it's all working and the you know, the skill and the accuracy of these players.
Yeah.
And you know, and they had some moments last night as well.
Yeah.
You know, normally you would expect the 8 elite PDC stars to make it through to the quarterfinals, which start in the next half an hour. But Danny Noppert lost in the first game last night against Manlok Young of Hong Kong. So they also had a bit of a shock to contend with the very first match they watched in Riyadh.
Oh.
I'm quite surprised because a lot of the tournaments don't take place in front of an audience anyway. Do they, Dance? They're often just in a side room or...
There's 34 PDC Players' Championship tournaments that take place in venues like Leicester at the Mattioli Arena, or Wigan next door to the stadium, or even Hildesheim in Germany, where it is behind closed doors, and you whittle down 96 players to one inside a day. But the World Series of Darts is played in front of an audience. We were in Bahrain last week for the opening event, which Michael van Gerwen won. There'll be a bit of a break before the next World Series. They'll be off to America in the summer. During the course of the World Cup, actually, the World Series of Darts will be at Madison Square Garden in New York City once again. Then there's Australia and New Zealand that comes hot on the heels of the World Match Play once we get out of July and into early August. So these events are sort of dotted in and around those Players' Championship events I just mentioned, and the European Tour and the Premier League. It's one hell of a packed schedule.
It really is.
Now, you'll also, I'm sure, be keeping your eye on the football this evening. Some very interesting games in the Championship. Cov Millwall.
Oh, what a game that is.
That sounds
fantastic
like
game.
Sounds like a corker.
Yeah. Well, Coventry City have got this habit of letting teams score first against them at the CBS Arena and then coming back. They do have the best home form in the division, but time and again, I've been there to see teams hit the front, but then Coventry just roar back. And I didn't think they had a particularly deep squad, Coventry. I knew that Frank Lampard would want to go into the market, so he bought in Romain Esse on loan from Crystal Palace, for example. But I think he'll probably want a couple more, Paul, before the window shut. But Millwall have been brilliant. Just nine points behind Cov. I can't think of a better fit of a manager and club than Alex Neil and Millwall. They just seem to fit perfectly together. No superstars in that squad whatsoever, but boy, oh boy, they're getting the job done. I think they've won 3 out of the last 5. It's great form they're in.
They've been knocking on the door for a while as well, so maybe this will be their season. Preston Hull looks a cracker as well, Dance.
Yes, that's also, 2 of the top 6 playing each other, 6th against 5th. Preston, back-to-back defeats, including one in the Cup, which they might not have expected against Wigan after back-to-back wins. But Hull City, just 1 point ahead of Preston, 1 defeat in 8 for the Tigers. So I think that's going to be a very, very tight game at Deepdale this evening. And there's another club in Preston, like Millwall, who've never tasted Premier League football. And normally they just miss out on the playoffs. This could be a year where they actually get involved in the playoff shake-up and then see what happens.
Ipswich playing Bristol City. I don't think Borough are playing tonight, are they? So would that would push them into, if they won, push them into the top 2, wouldn't it?
That's right. And 4 straight wins, 8 points behind Coventry, but they're coming with a wet sail, it seems, Ipswich. And it seems that Jayden Philogene only likes scoring at Portman Road. He just thumps them in there. So you might want to take a look on his form. But Bristol City, Mugs, they're 9th. And as another club just on the fringes of the playoffs, under Gerhard Struber. They've won 2 out their last.
May have
Dance frozen.
There we are. Coming with a wet sail. I've never heard that before,
Yeah.
Paul. What does that mean? Slowly in, is it?
I
Because
guess-
you want
I
a
guess
dry sail because you're faster in? I'm interested in what that from.
We have lost Nancy.
I'm going to
Frozen
Google
there
it, Paul. Wangy's been in touch.
I feel like I should give him polite applause. Apparently, they've been applauding if you get a 28. That's polite applause if you get a 28.
What would be a waste if someone hit a 9-darter and everyone just clapped? That's what the text.
Oh, Dance, we got you back.
Yeah,
We've got you back.
Where did you lose me? At what point did you lose me?
You were the wet. Charlie was quite taken with your wet sail. And
Yeah. I'm just trying to see if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
When you think Ipswich were, they were doing the best of the 3 relegated teams, but they still weren't doing brilliantly. But 4 straight wins has done them the power of just lately.
Yeah.
So certainly when you look at Leicester and Southampton, by comparison, it's been nowhere near as good for those other 2 relegated sides. But Bristol City, they've got incentive as well, Paul, to get in amongst the playoffs. So that's going to be another very tight game, I would say.
You'll be keeping an eye on your beloved Birmingham City. They go to Sheffield Wednesday tonight.
Dr. Birmingham.
Dr. Birmingham, yeah.
Well, when you consider our away form, which is the one thing that's really held us back this season, only won twice this season at Blackburn. I was there for that one, and at Preston. And Sheffield Wednesday are 21 games without a win. There'll be blue noses going up there tonight going, it's just written, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just written that we're going to let it happen to us against the Owls. Let's wait and see. But great signing today of August Priska coming in, a big striker coming in from Djurgårdens in Sweden. So we've been very active in the transfer market. That's good news. Good to see.
Brilliant. Enjoy it out there,
Cheers,
Dance.
Dance.
We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, chaps. ITV4 right now.
Nice one. There we are. Dance out there doing the darts on TV.
Philogene's injured. Thank you very much to Anonymous.
Oh, dear. Bottle Glimpse City kicks us off 5:45 on talkSPORT 2. Tottenham Dortmund, where I'm off to now. At 8 on talkSPORT. Inter versus Arsenal, talkSPORT 2. Get your calls into the Sports Bar at 10 after all the matches tonight. And building up to all that more, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent with Drive. We'll catch up with you soon.